What the fuck is up? My name's Ty Beamer. You are now watching Perception Erection. And tonight, we have a special guest. He hails from New Jersey. He is the host of A Light in the World podcast, currently on episode 33.
Yeah, 33.
He is a boxing enthusiast. He is part of the Diaz Army. Joey, that is.
Yeah.
George Ramirez. What's up, man?
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me on here, dude. It's a pleasure. This is the first time. I'm very excited. It's the first time being interviewed, too. So it's a lot of fun, man. And
yeah, man.
One thing I want to say before we even start is I remember I had you on my podcast, and I remember the one thing I said to you. I don't remember if it was during the podcast or if it was after, but I was telling you how hopefully the next time we meet, we'll be in a better circumstance. And already, man,
yes,
like you're starting your podcast, you're doing a bunch of stuff. So thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for coming, man.
Oops, this is my. But yeah, no. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you for having me on yours.
Of course.
Which is out now, 2 parts. You can go watch it. I still haven't listened to it.
Oh no worries, man. It's hard. It's hard to listen to yourself speak, man. It's just not. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just not. It's not fun. I like for my first 10, 15 episodes, dude. I've gotten a lot better, but I cannot listen to it, man. I can't listen to them, and you have to sometimes, but
you have to progress.
Exactly.
The only thing that sucks with that one is I was shit-faced.
And it's all good, man. No, it's all good. I mean, I honestly saw it like training too, just because I never want to limit people on my podcast. I there's going to be some episodes where, maybe with you or whoever, I want to have a drink or someone else is going to have a drink. So I never, I'm like, okay, it's like I said, it's almost like training, if that makes any sense.
It was a fun one.
It was a lot of fun, man.
I remember when you left, I was like, I feel good about that.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I learned a lot about you, too, as a person. We talked about...
a lot of people who know me learned a lot about me.
You know
got
what?
A lot of messages.
Tyler told me, he said, hey, thanks for that podcast. Tyler Limerick, he was telling me how I brought the emotions out of you.
Yeah.
And
100%.
One thing I learned too, man, is I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm good at that. I'm good at talking to people. Yeah. There was a guy that I'm going to interview later on my podcast who, he has his own story, but he listened to one of the episodes on the lady who had not Tourette's, I keep forgetting, epilepsy. Gotcha. And he said how she felt uncomfortable at first, but then as I started going into the episode, she started opening up. Right. And, that's a gift.
Hill?
Miss Hill, yeah. Miss Hill, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched about 13 minutes of that.
Yeah. I learned a lot from that episode too, man, but yeah.
Dude, I've been listening at least, while I'm out driving to pretty much all of your shit.
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
And that's after Tyler's Limerick, by the way, for people who don't know, that's my brother-in-law. After he did his interview, that was the first one I listened to. And I knew then, like, oh, this dude knows it. Like, maybe not knows what he's doing, but, like, he's got something with this.
Yeah.
The way he talks, he's a good speaker, he listens, he has his own stories, he relates to a bunch of shit, you don't judge nothing.
Exactly.
It's super positive too. It's one of those, I have a list of subscriptions on YouTube and shit that I listen to in the mornings and shit, just motivational shit. You're like the first Spotify, usually it's YouTube I'm on, but now it's Spotify I'm getting on in the morning and listening to you, so
I appreciate that, man.
I appreciate
it means a lot
because it levels me up in the morning where I'm like, that's fucking.
And that's what I designed a podcast from too, where I designed it where I wanted to make sure at least Monday morning I have some sort of positive word or message for the people listening to, because that's the start of the week, and that's when people, I'm like, people hate Mondays. I love Mondays.
I do too.
You know, I love it because it's an opportunity to start your new week. Yeah, like usually you can you can judge how your week is going to be by how your Monday started.
Yeah.
And if you can start that on the right foot, then why not? Right. You know, and that's why I designed it like that. And I've also designed it where Thursdays too, where it's kind of heading into the weekend. Right. You know, people are going to have fun, so it might be, you know, more of a lighthearted message, or it might be a, hey, you know, go have fun, but there's still shit that we need to do as people, regardless.
Well, that's what works out perfect, because I think Monday, I could be wrong, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Monday has like the highest suicide rate.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which
I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure it does. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just making this shit
that
up.
seems.
I mean, it makes
true.
sense. And then Thursday, like the people who keep pushing and are just down and out, and then it's Thursday, but they got a new episode to look forward to. Yeah. That's like perfect fucking schedule.
Yeah. What I mean, I talk a lot, so I actually was thinking, oh, I should release more episodes, but I was like, I tried that one week, and I'm like, oh no, I not that I burned myself out, but then I run out of things to talk about for the following week, and I never want to be like that, man. You know what it is with podcasting is you have to be consistent. We're talking about this too. You have to be consistent, not like we were saying a little bit earlier, where you start losing some viewers as well too, and you know I don't want that. You know, I'm sure no one wants that as well too, especially at the lower level too, where you know, not that you're struggling for viewers, but sometimes it's hard getting other people to listen.
It is. I mean, who wants to listen to two people that nobody even knows? They're not famous. They have no connection to them. So it starts off with the friends and all that, but people need shit like this.
They do, man. I definitely think they do. When I was little, I always wanted to have a radio show. Yeah. And that's something I never really thought about till February of this year, when I like officially started my podcast. Funny enough, I never even touched it at first. Right. I never did anything with it. It's funny how things work, man. I remember I was kind of looking on YouTube how to start a podcast, and then this video popped up where it literally showed step by step how to make one. And I'm like, this is pretty easy. And then that person, that YouTube channel that I was listening to, they sure enough had a contest that following week. And I didn't even care about winning. All I cared was the free things that you get. So I used Buzzsprout, and then Buzzsprout, I got 3 months for free and a bunch of other stuff for free, where I'm like, okay, now I can actually use this. Yeah. And I did. Yeah.
It's like perfect start. What made you, obviously you're the Joey Diaz fan, but what made you like, what was the first thought of, oh, maybe I should start my own?
Yeah. So like I said, when I was a little kid, I wanted my own radio show, and then never thought about it for years. And then, so I box. I moved here to Colorado Springs. I wanted to be on the Olympic team, and I haven't really been boxing. Right. You know, I go to the gym pretty often, but I haven't really been fighting. I haven't really been doing much. And I just kind of sat down one day, and I'm like, I'm not really doing anything with my life. You know, like the boxing's not really work out. I lost my last fight. And then the way I lost too was I got stopped, which I thought was bullshit, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. But, you know, I just kind of sat down and reflected one day. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? What is actually going on? What's something that I can do? You know, but even before those thoughts came, I was going to therapy. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning of, I want to say like December of, last year, around this time, actually, I started to develop anxiety. I never really had anxiety as a kid, or maybe I didn't know what it was at the time, but I remember I just felt lost, man. Yeah. I remember I was working at Whole Foods at the time, and it was just not, I felt lost there. I felt lost in terms of what I'm going to do with my life. I felt lost in my identity. And then I found this therapist literally probably like a 2-minute walk away from where I live. And I started doing that, and then I started getting better. I started coping with my anxiety. I started coping with different things. He started asking me some really deep questions. You know, he's like, what do you want to do with your life? And I'm like, I want to be a boxer. Right. And then we started talking about that. And then he started saying, you know, is that something you really want to do? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, why do you want to do it? And I never really thought about it. And I'm like, oh, I want to do it. Really, yeah, I want to help people and stuff, making money, you know, be like Manny Pacquiao and giving out homes and stuff like that.
Right.
But realistically, I'm like, I want to do it for the money.
Right.
You know, and I mean, is it a good goal? You know, not really, in my opinion.
Right.
So then I started questioning that. And I'm like, dang, I've been working with boxing for almost 3 years, like competitively. And for someone to say, I don't think that's the right path for you. And then I'm like, fuck, man.
Shit,
you know,
it's different, right?
Yeah, it hits different, dude. I'm like, dang, it's almost like when I was younger, man, I really wanted to be in the Navy. And like that didn't work out. A bunch of stuff didn't work out in my life. And then I'm like, dang, is this something else in my life that is not going to work out? Am I a quitter? Am I, what is wrong with me? And then I'm like, you know what, man? I talk a lot. You know, at work, people would be like, oh, you talk a lot. I would get in trouble sometimes at work for talking a lot. And then I would ask people, I'm like, do you think I should start a podcast? And they're like, yeah, go for it, dude. You talk a lot. I mean, you can keep a conversation. Right. And I just started off as that, man. And I've just been doing it ever since. And this is not to be cocky. This is not to be, you know what I mean? But I know down the road it'll pay off. Yeah. You know, because when something comes natural, so naturally to you, sometimes you can't ignore those things. Yeah. So I'm like, might as well. You know, not that I'm getting interviews every week, but there's people coming, and I have like my therapist. He's like, hey, I have some people that you can interview, and those signs are all there. Yeah. So I'm like, I might as well keep on going with it.
I mean, you've done a lot already. Mm-hmm. I mean, 33 episodes. It's 33, right?
It's going on 34, right. I think, yeah.
Yeah, 34 episodes. A lot of podcasts don't last that long.
They don't, man.
Most 90% of them don't.
There's 3 million podcasts out there, dude. Obviously, you know the top ones, but there's 3 million out there, and one of the biggest problems a lot of podcasts have is being consistent. Yeah. And I feel like...
You see those numbers, they get discouraged, they quit.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes like I look at my numbers, man, and I'm like, dang, these aren't the numbers I want, but it's okay. Sometimes I had this one friend, man, who was listening to my podcast, and I didn't even know. And they were like, they messaged me, one of my boys from back home, and he's like, hey, man, you're actually helping me out a lot with my anxiety. And when he told me that, dude, I felt very happy, not in terms of, like in a boastful way, but I was like, I've helped someone at least.
Purpose now.
Exactly. Like, now that purpose is there, but
lost anymore.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I mean, in that aspect.
Exactly. Yeah.
But not to go off topic, but same thing with the music. You know, I eventually asked myself, like, why? What am I doing this for?
Right.
Like, why am I doing this? And at first, it was because I'm better than this guy, and then. Second, it was, this is just my thing.
Exactly.
And then finally
it
was like, I don't even like fucking doing this. Why do I keep waking up at 2 a.m. to hit the studio for 7 fucking hours when I hate it? I don't even like doing it.
Yeah.
and then it was like, okay, what am I actually doing this for?
Right.
Money. 100% money, fame,
ego.
Shit like
Ego's
that.
just feeding you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, once I had a taste of a relationship and like a little family life type deal, it was, oh, I want that.
Have you been feeling that lately?
Yeah.
Me too, man. I'm not going to lie. I've been feeling that a lot. Like, my thing right now is we're both adults, and obviously right now it's near Christmas time. We're not going to ever feel the same way we felt as kids when we were, that Christmas. Mm-hmm. But imagine if we can give that to other people. Like, if I had a house and I had friends come over, if I had family come over, dude, like that.
See?
I don't know. It just excites me now. You know what I mean?
It makes me think of my grandpa and my dad. It's like, I've always wanted this extraordinary life of not having a normal job, doing all this shit, having a mansion and shit. But then it's like, I can just get a normal house and have a normal family and provide for my children and my parents and everyone who's done something for me.
Yep.
That is way better than, not that I've had a #1 record, but I'm sure the feeling's up there. about the same.
I mean, look, you're going on whatever path you're going on now. You've had to go through the things that you've had to for a specific reason. Right. I feel that same way too. Like the music and the boxing, it's the same exact thing, man. Because not that I don't enjoy it, like I do it as a hobby now. I remember when I was treating it as a job, and how much I hated it, man. Right. I remember when I treated it as a hobby, how much I loved it.
Yes.
And that's where I'm at right now. Where now the podcast is more of a preference compared to the boxing.
And it sucks when a hobby turns into a job too. Yeah. Because back to the music, I had like schedules now of studio time, schedules of when to drop this, when to film this, when to do this, and it's like I used to just wake up and do it.
Yeah.
And just do it.
That was the same thing with boxing too. Yeah. I had a schedule. This time I'm going to go to the gym and this is what I'm going to do. And this, 3 weeks out I'm going to have a fight or this is what's going to happen. And then it just started getting mundane, man. And it started not getting fun. Right. And at that point, like I said, sometimes you have to pay attention to moments like that.
I mean, that's probably even fucking harder. The whole boxing thing.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's harder, man. I'm sure like making music,
Well, yeah, but like physically.
Yeah, physically.
Mentally.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go and hit the studio right now. I cannot get ready for 8 weeks to fight one fucking guy, and then, oh my god, that's so much fucking work.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure your stuff is hard too. Mentally, you know what I mean? Like coming up with different things and stuff, especially when you're not in maybe the right mindset, or maybe you don't want to do it and you're like, fuck, man, I have to come up with a song, or I have to come up with something, you know what I mean? Or I have to deal with these fucking people that I'm dealing with or whatever.
Well, even sort of. I always feel like I kind of sabotaged my life so that I could write shit. And now I'm to the age to where I'm not sabotaging my life, and shit is going better than it was. So it's like, what am I going to do? Write the same fucking song over and over?
Yeah.
About something that I'm not even relating to at the moment? Mm-hmm. My only rule was I don't ever want to be that horny, white, good time, funny rapper or anything.
Like Macklemore or something like that.
Yeah. And, I'm in a good, funny space right now. So it's like I can't write. I'm sure I come up with something and not make it horny, but it used to just come out easily. Yeah. And now it's like writer's block, and it's like this just ain't cool. I don't even like listening to this. So it's like, fuck it, I'm done.
I mean, you're paying attention to yourself too, man, which is a very important thing. You're like, all right, this. And it sucks to say sometimes too, this might be coming to an end. Like sometimes I it's hard to say that with boxing too. I'm like, this is coming to an end because I still do it. Yeah, I still go to the gym and stuff. But I'm like,
how long you been doing it?
Dude, I've been boxing since I was a little kid. I mean, on and off.
Same shit.
Yeah.
So like once you hit that age and you've spent 12 years doing it, it's like,
what else do I do?
Stop now?
Yeah, exactly. Do I just stop? Yeah.
Like, no. And I was in denial for a long time too.
Same thing with me.
A few years where I was like, it wasn't working like it was, and I was like, I said I was gonna do this. I'm not fucking doing nothing else.
You don't want to be a quitter. Yeah, you don't want to be a quitter.
Actually, open your mind to maybe there are other things.
And there is, and that's one thing actually I was gonna mention on one of my episodes where people sometimes get stuck in their ways, with whatever it might be. It was more on what I was going to say was more on the terms of people sometimes get comfortable and they don't want to take that, not necessarily risk, but they don't want to get out of their comfort zone. Yeah. And even with like the boxing, I mean, I've been so used to it that I'm like, dang, like what else can I do? I never went to school. Right. I was a meat cutter for the longest time. I didn't quit, but I put my 2 weeks in there. But I'm like, you know what, man? Sometimes you just got to have faith. Got to put your faith in God, man, and just let him do all the work. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then you'd be surprised in what can actually happen.
Once you actually have that, not to get into God or anything, but that once you truly believe, like, shit is set in stone, maybe not even set in stone, or in a way I believe that. But I always say this. think about something that happened in high school that you were tripping over for like a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't even think of. I had so many issues back then. I can't even fucking remember that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm 25. We get to live this life like 3 more times.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's it. Yeah.
I'm good. Like, I'm gonna be good no matter what. There's no need for my anxiety. There's no need for depression.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be good. Like, it's not actually coming down like we think it is or anything like that. We gotta take a little break there. I fucked up the laptop.
No, it's all good.
Where were we?
You were saying something. High school. Also, high school. You know, like all your, all the essentially depression and all the anxiety coming.
How shit just didn't matter back then.
Exactly.
And shit now ain't gonna matter to us
10 years down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not even gonna be able to remember it.
Exactly. No, that's a big thing that you brought up, man, where a lot of people deal with anxiety where they don't, I mean, not necessarily understand, but people have this fear.
Yeah.
And in this fear, we make up these scenarios, and in reality, that fear, it's really ego telling you, telling you whatever it is, and it gives you that anxiety, and it just fucking.
This right here. Shit once.
Oh, you read that book?
Yes.
I've read that book too, man.
Anxiety playing tricks on me.
That is a really, really good book. I love the part where he said, where a lot of religious people, I mean, do I consider myself Christian? No, I'm not to like get all preachy and stuff, but he was saying how, there's different people that God gave us. Like psychiatrists or psychologists. Instead of going to the pastor, there's all these different people that can help you out, cope with whatever it is. And people don't want to utilize those people because either they're scared of what people might say to them. Like, going to the therapist has been one of the best decisions I've ever done in my life. I don't think any of this would have happened if I hadn't gone to therapy, dude.
Well, it probably wouldn't. He's the one who recommended it, right?
Basically, yeah. I brought that idea to him, and he said, and he's like, I think you should do this, and he's been helping me out a lot. And not necessarily that we do therapy now. All the issues that I've had, like the anxiety, all these problems that I have, they're all gone. I mean, sometimes it creeps up a little bit, but I know the truth now.
You can stop it.
I can stop it, yeah. Same. Now what we do is we go over this book and we talk about different things, how to spread more love into the world. We talk about that.
That's dope.
Yeah, bro. I mean, to some people it may be corny, but man, we all, this world needs it.
To the internet, it's corny.
Yeah.
To those 14-year-olds. Oh, man.
Exactly.
But,
and I used to be that way too, man. So I can't, I used to be a troll when I was a little kid.
Same. It's therapy. I need to do therapy.
If you ever consider it, let me know, and I can hook you up with a really good therapist. Not even just mine, but I'm sure I can mention it to my therapist, and he can probably. The thing is with therapy, one thing I try to tell people is, not every therapist is the same.
Right.
There's a website where I'm lucky my brother was going through therapy, and he basically gave me this website where you personalize your own therapist or your psychiatrist, or there's like, they're not coaches, but they're like they're like a step below a therapist. I don't know exactly what they're called. I wouldn't recommend those. I would recommend someone like a therapist or a psychologist.
Right.
Psychologists, they're most likely going to give you like medicine, which I'd rather not.
Right.
So like I said, but some people might need that.
Yeah.
But if you ever do need help with that, let me know, dude. I can definitely,
I definitely will.
because it's changed my life. I wish you would have known me before.
To see you now.
To see me now. Yeah, it's a huge difference, dude. Yeah. It really is a huge difference.
I think with your anxiety, do you get because I have really bad anxiety too, and do you get it to where, like, physically you're like spinning? Like you, I don't even know. It's like, you ever done acid or anything like that?
I've not, no.
See, if for anyone who's done acid, my anxiety is like being on an acid trip almost. Not that I hallucinate or anything, but or like a really bad high.
That's what it is.
Like a drunk. It's like a drunk or a bad high.
For me, it's not a drunk. For me, it's more of a really bad high.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
It's to the point where I haven't had it in a while, but I can't stand still.
Yeah.
I can't. I have
pass
to.
Out.
No, I just feel like, honestly, feel like I'm going to die if I don't move or if I don't do something.
Right.
But the more that I move, the worse it gets.
Yes.
So even if I stand still, it gets worse. If I move, it gets worse. So it just,
you get it to where you can't feel like your
there's
arms
been times where I can't feel. Honestly, for me,
like,
man,
it doesn't even feel like your arms for some reason.
No, well, so
like
what I do is, when I know when, you know, like anxiety's hitting me, I look at my fingers, and for some reason, if they start zoning in, or if I start seeing every little details of my fingers, I know I'm having a panic attack or an anxiety attack.
Right.
And then my vision kind of gets, it almost looks like, you know, when you put on glasses and there's like there you see the, obviously like the lens. So that happens. And then for some reason in my mind, it feels like I'm in the Truman Show where everything feels fake.
Right.
I remember one time where I was driving and I looked at the mountains, and for some reason in my mind, I was already having the panic attack.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's nothing over those mountains. And I got really scared.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, I got really scared.
Crazy. I haven't had. I think a lot of people overplay anxiety.
They do.
Don't actually have anxiety.
It's like with ADHD and stuff. And I, you know, I don't mean to be that person, but I think you're right. People throw that word sometimes.
They do.
And
100%.
There's people out. There's a lot of people out there with anxiety that
it's upsetting sometimes, because it's like I'll see a Facebook post or from someone that I know, and it's like talking about their anxiety, and it's like, you, not to discredit anything, I got real fucking anxiety to where
you had to be medicated, right?
Drive.
Yeah, you were telling me that you had to be medicated.
I took one pill, and it got me out of my little trip that I was having. Threw them away, and told myself I'll figure out how to stop it myself.
I think that's the best. Well, for some people, I'm not a doctor.
But I am not good with pills because of other shit that has to do with me that I know how I would be with pills, and I would abuse the fuck out of them. But anyone who doesn't have an addictive personality, doesn't have an issue with addiction or anything, take them. Take the lorazepam. Take whatever. Take the Xanax. But I can get it to stop pretty easily most times. Sometimes I'm just in it and I'm fucked until it stops.
You still get them?
Yeah, constantly, every day. A lot of times when I'm driving, my face will like go numb, and then my hands will go numb, and then it's almost like it's fucking dangerous.
It is very dangerous.
I can get to the point where it's like that car in front of me, I can just drive through that car in front of me.
Yeah.
Right now.
I remember when I first moved here to Colorado Springs, I lived in Tucson before, and in Tucson, you didn't have to take the highway. Right. So I lived basically 4 years, for the most part, of not driving in the highway. Right. And I remember when I first moved here, you have to take the highway, I-25, to go everywhere. And I remember, dude, that's when it started hitting. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. And I remember I would basically try every single, if I had to go to work, I would take the long route because I was like, I can't drive on the highway.
I take powers for everything.
And then, so what I did was I just started driving on the highway.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to conquer this. And I'll eventually, you know, one thing I've learned that really does help out when that panic attack,
just
facing it, but breathing.
Oh, yeah,
breathing is one of the most important things. You know, when you feel your heart racing, just you slowly breathe, man. And I learned that, and that was one of the techniques that he told me. And I would always say a little prayer in my mind too. You know, it's just, you know, just pray through that moment. Yeah. And then it got to the point where I would just start saying, you know, I'm gonna be fine. Yeah. You know, it's gonna be okay. You know, even though it sucks right now, at the end of this, it's going to be okay. And I just kept telling myself that over and over and over. And it got to the point, man, where, you know, I've basically conquered it, you know.
Isn't it crazy how literally saying that out loud to yourself changes everything?
It does.
In that moment.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way with the highway. I still, I mean, I'm fine driving on the highway, but
it's scary. I mean, you know the drivers here, dude. They suck.
Yeah.
They fucking suck, here, man. And you have to be like driving to here to your place right now, dude. This dude cut me off, and like I got pissed for a second, but I'm like, and I can see the dude. He was in a Subaru, and he was just tailgating everybody.
Of course he was in a Subaru.
and he was just tailgating everybody, and then I'm just like, dude, what is this dude's issue? At the end of the day, it's not my issue.
Yeah.
You know, like this dude is probably has to go somewhere or whatever it might be, and you know, that's on him. That's not on me. If he crashed into somebody, that's something different. But at the end of the day, man, you know, I have a sports car, dude, and I don't even I don't race anybody. Right. I don't, you know, like why add to something that I don't need to add to at all.
Limit
me too. I do the speed limit, maybe 5 over.
Hates that I do. I don't even do 5 over.
Oh, really?
The exact speed limit.
You know, I mean listen, man, that's sometimes the best way, but you know how it is here, dude. The drivers just they're so horrible out here, dude.
My biggest fear is even if you're going 5 over and say I crash and someone dies, it may not have that 5 miles may not have stopped nothing.
Right.
But like in my head, I know how I'm gonna think, and I'm never gonna forgive myself for that, and then I'm fucked.
Well,
so
listen, man.
Stay. Listen, like if the government says it's okay, mentally, it's okay.
It's reassuring.
Right.
One thing I really, and this basically conquered these panic attacks and anxiety that I have was, regardless of what happens, I'm going to be okay. If I die, I'm going to be okay. Right. If I, you know, if I'm driving and there's an accident, you know, I'm not racing. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to be okay. Sure. Even if I go to jail, I'm going to be okay. Right. No matter what the situation is, no matter what happens to me, at the end of the day, even death,
you're good.
I'm still okay.
I mean, like, see, that's fucking awesome thing about, because I'm sure that's a lot of that comes from boxing too.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
from the, I mean, it has to, some of it at least, because
it does. Yeah,
you're going in there, and you know you're gonna walk out.
Yeah,
you just don't know
how.
I might have a broken nose, but like I'm gonna be good.
Yeah,
you know,
I might die. I'm still gonna be okay.
Yeah, even like people got this crazy fear of death. And which I do also, but everyone goes, and it's like
everybody dies.
Something, and like you're going somewhere. So it's like, not to get all churchy or nothing, but somewhere, like people are going somewhere. We have a soul, like that's clear. I'm talking, I'm seeing through my eyes, like something's in my body that has to go somewhere else, because that's gone once you're dead. So it's like, I'm gonna be good regardless.
Not to be all preachy, man, but one thing that therapy has taught me, and at first it was hard to believe because I grew up in the church. You know, I grew up in a Pentecostal church, and you know, it's like, oh, you know, if you don't do certain things, you're going to hell. If you don't do, therapy has taught me that God is just love. There is no hell. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, you know. I feel like we create hell for ourselves.
Talk about anxiety.
Yeah. But even if you have a little ounce of love in your heart, you're still going to be okay. Even if you don't believe in God, you're still going to be okay. And I know a lot of people don't like that, and it's okay, you know. And I was actually talking about that on my last episode, where there is a lot of spiritual people out there. There's a lot of gurus out there. There's a lot of teachers out there on the internet. A lot of it is scam. I'm not even going to be like, I don't want to, you know, what's the word? I don't want to, like name anybody, but you already know, you know, like even I was checking my Instagram messages for the podcast, and I basically got scammed. This one dude was like, hey, you know, let me run your podcast. I can do all these things for you. I'm like, no, man, like I know what you're trying to do at the end of the day. But there is a lot of that out there, man. A lot of people preaching things. You look at like, certain religions as well too, and a lot of it, man, I hate to say it, I think a lot of it is bullshit.
It is.
A lot of it's to control people. You look at like Scientology, you look at like the Mormon church, a lot of it, there's a really good, I got to show you this, man. It's this podcast called, I don't listen to the podcast, but I follow them on TikTok, and it's a bunch of horror stories from people from the Mormon church.
Oh shit.
And dude, every single time that, like, it's clips of, you know, this person that was in the Mormon church and what they want, what they've gone through. And it's very sad, man, because you can tell that it's not about God, it's more about control.
Yeah,
they try to
almost not to cut you off, but I'm trying to think of her name. Yomi Park.
I don't know who that is.
She was a North Korean defector.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And it's that has nothing to do with religion, but like North Korea,
same thing. Yeah,
controlling, like same as that thing almost. And
yep.
It's cool to see people like with Scientology, like Leah Remini, the girl from Queens.
Is that the girl who they killed her dog?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Damn fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you see, like there you go. Yeah.
It's crazy to see like that people can still get out of it. Because like she was in it from like day one, like childhood. And it's like, you know how hard it is to believe something that your parents and family have been
throwing at you constantly
your whole life.
From a little kid.
Know nothing.
And when you're a little kid, bro, you suck all that up.
And then when you're 25, it's like you still don't realize it sometimes. Like it takes some people don't realize till they're fucking 40.
Yeah.
That
or it's till it's late, until they die,
like,
or like they're on their deathbed, and they're like.
I think a lot of old people have certain beliefs, and now that they're 78, I say it with my grandma. I'm super open with like picking apart her beliefs and just trying to get her to see other sides. Yeah. And sometimes you can just see her face where she's like, damn, I was told this
for the longest time.
Day one. And, sometimes you don't want to face that.
You don't.
Oh, I know it's wrong, but this is what I was told, and that's how it's going to be.
For a whole entire life.
Yeah. But sometimes she's like, oh my God. Like, I've been doing that for 70 years and didn't know how horrible or whatever it is. And it's just cool to see, like, I mean, not cool, but, like, cool to see, like, you can get out of shit like that.
Exactly.
Like church people, any type
anything.
Of thing. It could be
a
your
cult,
own parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Your own parents.
Yep.
Where, I had a whole little story. It was about Casey Anthony, but that would last 45 minutes.
Let me ask you something. Would you ever, if you had the opportunity, would you ever go to North Korea?
I've talked about this recently. That's funny. There's one reason why I wouldn't, and there's this U.S. as you can go there.
Yeah,
and
it's hard to, but you can. I think you have to take like a plane to. You have to go to China first, and then from China you go to North Korea.
Yeah. I just found that out recently that Americans can go over there if they wanted to. I read about this dude. I don't even know. This could happen. 2010s, I think, actually. He went and visited, and he took a poster from his hotel room.
I actually saw that story. I've known about that story, but I listened to a YouTube video literally like 2 days ago about that. Yep.
See, and he took that poster. They got him at the airport, and by the time they sent him back to us, he was in a coma and he died.
Yeah.
And I was like, it would be really hard for me to be in North Korea and not want to fucking take something back.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's where he fucked up because I feel like, or not, no, it's known. So there's a video. I think it's the same kid who, I guess when you go to North Korea, you end up staying at one of their hotels. And in this hotel, I don't know if it's the 5th floor. One of the floors you're not allowed to go in. Okay. And in this floor, their security is all there. And it's basically like, when you go to a hotel and they have all their like maintenance shit and whatnot. And so they found this room or this floor, and they went there, and that's where the kid took a bunch of. I don't know if it's specifically that one, but and when you go to North Korea, I've never been, but I watched a lot of videos on it because honestly, in my opinion, I would go. I would go just to see.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to be preaching a lot of bullshit, which obviously I'm not going to believe, but I would still go to see. My thing is, man, I want down the road to start going to places like, if I can be in Ukraine right now, I would be in Ukraine, dude.
I would do it.
Just because I would want to, not I would want to talk to the people, you know.
Right.
Obviously it'll be hard to go, you know, right now, but you know, like one of the things I've always wanted to go to was Afghanistan, Iraq, to go talk to the people and see you know, what they think, what their views. And I remember the first time I went to LA, my dad's like, where do you want to go? And I remember I told him I want to go see South Central, because my mom grew up during the Rodney King riots and stuff, and she told me she couldn't leave her house for a day, I think.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go see where they grew up and stuff. And all these places, man, they fascinate me, you know, like
it's all about history.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm a huge history dude.
Me too.
Especially when I'm traveling. I like being in places that I know certain people have been. Just to like feel it for some reason.
It's still recording.
All right.
Yeah.
And like, I think North Korea would, minus the potential fucking up. Because I don't know shit. That's another thing I'm terrified of, knowing laws and shit.
I think they tell you what you can do, what you can't do, what you can record. That
one thing that they didn't tell us.
Yeah.
But
you always have someone with you too. So I'm sure you can ask the person like, "Hey, can I do this?" and they will tell you yes or no.
Like going to what's the city called?
Pyongyang.
Yeah. Going there, oh, it'd be so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, pictures. I got my little VR headset, and I've done little tours of North Korea, and it's fucking. It's so weird how
it's like another world.
It's weird how we view them, and then how they view us.
Yeah.
And I love meeting new people that are out of the America bubble.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people here we're not shit. Like, we got a whole world.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are so caught up.
That's
in
one thing
our thing.
I tell people a lot, man, is we get so caught up in what goes on here in the U.S., especially with the news, with politics, with so much. And like you said, there's a whole fucking world out there, man. And we get so stuck in America this, America that, and at the end of the day, man, we ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much to explore. There's so much to view, man. And you know, it's like my friends, not necessarily like my specific friends, but certain people from my hometown, I tell them, because I lived in basically 5 states. Yeah. And there's some people that have never even traveled outside of New Jersey. And I'm like, dude, you know, you guys should go and travel, and you guys should go see the world, or not even just the world. If you can, go explore as much as you can, because that's going to be some people's regrets. Just staying where you live, or getting so caught up in where you live. There's so much out there, you know, and I don't want to be that person like, oh, I'm going to go to Mexico for a week. No, I want to get to that certain point, man, where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to Mexico and see how long I want to stay there. And if I want to buy property there, then I'll buy it. You know, that's what I want to get to the point. I don't want to be, oh, I'm going to go to Mexico for a week and then have to return back to work. Right. You know, that lifestyle has never interested me, you know, like that's why I left Whole Foods, because I was like, it's just, I can't do it, man.
I've always wondered how people do the same thing their entire lives.
Right.
Like, my family's from a small little town on the border of Kansas and Missouri. And every time we go back, they moved in like 95 or something like that here. And every time we go back, everyone knows my parents. Right. And it's like doing the same shit. Yeah. There's this one dude who mows the cemetery grass out there every single time we go out there. Since I was little. Yeah. We drive past and he's doing that. And it's like, how do you just wake up and do the same thing in the same city your entire, like, ain't there something out there for you? Like,
hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, man. But one thing I tell people, it does terrify me too. But one thing I tell people, man, is we all have so much potential. Yeah. And why waste it? Exactly.
Like, at least try to do something that you think you can do. And if it don't work out, it don't work out.
Exactly.
Do what you want. But like,
exactly.
Everyone's, you know, I texted Tyler in probably like September, and it was right before we met, and I was like, we're meant for something more, than this. Like, there's something out there we should be doing, and we both know we have something whether it's music or podcasting or
whatever
movies,
it is,
acting, whatever it is, even if it's just a normal job or anything. Like, there's something that, like, we can wake up and be excited for the day for.
Exactly.
Like, there's got to be something. But going back to the traveling shit, it reminds me of this Russ line. The World Cup is bigger than the Super Bowl, El Stupido. And I always think about that. Like, it's funny because here, we were talking about it a few minutes ago. You don't hear shit about soccer compared to, like, football.
Right.
Or, well, American football. Sorry, British fans.
You know they invented that term, soccer? The British did?
Did they?
I think so, yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah, I think if I may be wrong, but I think they invented that word soccer for I forget what it was, but I was reading this on Twitter, man. People were getting pissed because they were having that conversation, soccer, football.
It sounds like a British word.
Yeah.
Soccer.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Like a us word almost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, that's funny. I'm gonna use that line now next time someone.
Yeah, but you didn't watch the World Cup, did you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't. Dude, it was early here. I think it was like at 7 or 8 in the morning here in Colorado, and I woke up around 11, and it was already over.
Right.
And I was like, "Fuck, man!" Because that's the only time I watch the World Cup is the World Cup game, the final, and fucking France lost, man. Which I don't really care, but supposedly it was like one of the best games ever.
Yeah, that's what I was reading. Well, I've been trying to think today. What are the other? I can tell you any other World Cup that has happened, or who was in it, or where it was at, besides this one, and that's also because a lot of people I follow were there.
Oh, gotcha.
I think I would have saw it anyways on Twitter. But, yeah, it's just crazy to think, like, in my life, my personal life, soccer ain't shit. But it's the number one sport.
It is.
And that's because of, it's not just America. And it's like, back to being in that bubble of America. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, soccer, man, is obviously very big out. Well, like you said, we get so into it. Like cricket, dude. Have you ever?
Huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
have you seen like
I
their?
Love watching it, by the way.
Have you seen the World Series? Dude, it's insane, man. Like, I don't know what it's called, but I just know it's like their version of the World Series.
A lot of people and shit?
There's a fuck ton of people, man. Like, you look at the stage and you see how people get excited for it. And dude, it
reminds me of cornhole.
Yeah, people get excited for that too, man. Dude,
shit, that's even on ESPN now.
Is it?
Yeah.
It just looks like a bunch of dads, man. Just like they got all together.
The dude from Jersey Shore was on it. Mike.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, one thing, being from Jersey, man, one thing I want to say is...
We got to talk about Jersey Shore.
Okay, yeah, I'll talk about it.
Jersey Shore.
I love it. I watched it growing up,
awesome.
But a lot of people, for some reason, they shit on New Jersey because of the Jersey Shore. And
they're not even from Jersey.
There's only, I think Snooki is the only one from Jersey.
Sammy. Egypt.
Is it Sammy?
Egypt, New Jersey or some shit.
I would have to look it up, but yeah, I don't know.
Snooki's Poughkeepsie, New York.
Is she from New York?
Yep.
Oh, I thought she was from. I thought she was the one from Jersey.
Jenny's New York. Vinny's Staten Island. Ronnie is Brooklyn. I'm so ashamed. Of
Dude, Ronnie, you know Ronnie's half Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. Yeah.
I knew that.
Dude.
I knew that. I remember when I was little, when it first came on, not knowing that they were. This happened. I was junior high.
Yeah. Me too. Wait, how old are you?
25.
25? Okay, yeah, I'm 25 too. Yeah, so we were basically the same. Yeah.
And we would watch it as a family.
I used to watch that show, man. I love it. Did you watch the one where they go to Italy?
Yeah.
That was my favorite season of all time,
That was
man.
my least favorite season.
Really? I loved it for some reason.
I didn't like the Miami one either.
I stopped watching after Italy.
I just like the Jersey house. Like that Jersey. What's Ocean?
Jersey. Well,
Ocean, the city there, Seaside.
Seaside, yeah. I've actually we've gone. I've been there multiple times, dude, and I have a picture of the house was for sale. It had the Italian flag, and I remember 2020, I think it was, or 2019 when I went back to Jersey. We went to the shore. We stayed probably like 5 minutes away from the Jersey Shore house.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, and then I saw it was for sale, and I was like, if I had the money right now, dude, I would buy it because it's a nice house.
Yeah, that's my next vacation.
Yeah,
Seaside.
You'd be surprised, man. It's a little trashy.
Yeah,
it's a little trashy.
I've heard it's much different. I mean, even then, I heard it was kind of trashy while they were filming. But I heard it's nothing like it was. All those clubs are gone.
When the show was big, I think that's when I was at its peak. Now, right. Honestly, bro, there's just a lot of like crime. There's a lot of crime. There's a lot of tweakers. Yeah. I remember when we went out. My mom, she got this hotel or this motel, right? And so we go in and whatnot, and so obviously so we go in, and then we open the door, and this fucking big ass roach comes out of nowhere. My mom looks at it, and I look at it, and she's like, nope. And then she literally went to the dude. She's like, I want my money back. And the dude was pissed. And this is not to be a dickhead, but he was Indian, so he had like that accent, and he was saying that, and then my mom was like, "No, you're gonna give me my money back." And then she literally dragged him to the room, and she's like, she showed him the roaches. She looked at that, or the dude looked at that, and he's like, "Oh, I'm very sorry." So we ended up getting a refund, and we got this nice like this hotel, probably like a couple minutes away. Dude, I remember I couldn't sleep that morning of, so I went for a run. And I saw like the sun come up on the Jersey Shore, and I was like, "Yo, this is fucking magical." Yeah, I'll show you pictures, dude. But it was pretty cool. And the pizza, man. I remember we went to the boardwalk, and that's one thing. If you do there, dude, you have to go to the boardwalk, obviously. But we got this pizza. It was $30. And have you ever been to Fat Soli's here?
No.
Oh, so it's this huge pizza. We got it. It was. I remember a fly landed on it, and I looked at it. I'm like, I'm back in Jersey, so we got it, and it was really good. It was really good. The pizza. Awesome. Yeah, it was this Italian place, and I look in the back, and there's all these paisas there, and we're talking to them in Spanish, dude, and then we ended up going back home. It was a good time. Yeah.
I would love to go to Jersey. I haven't been. The furthest that way I've been is Tennessee and Kentucky.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. I haven't been a lot of places.
Yeah, it's listen, man. I'm sure when the time comes and the money comes, you got to definitely explore New Jersey, New York, that East Coast.
My plan is, it's out there. It's gonna be a long time until that happens.
And that's fine, man.
Upper West Side Manhattan. That's where I want to live.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know how. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna get there somehow.
There you go.
I've never even been to New York.
Dude, New York. You saw my pictures.
They're my type of people. Every East Coast person I've met.
You seem like a East Coaster.
Definitely, 100%. I'm one of those dudes who
tells it straight up.
Stare at me, and I got a fucking issue with you. Yeah. And that, even when I was little, I was like that. And one of my buddies, his dad is from like New York and shit, so they always go up there. And his dad told me one day, he was like, You're from fucking New York. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He was like, no one can even look at you without you trying to fight them. And it's like, well, I mean, not now, but
before
sometimes depends. But everyone I've met from up there, I fucking love. Yeah, and I just know they're my type of people.
I actually went back home to Jersey for a little bit, and I remember my best friend, he told me, because he works in New York now, he works by Times Square, and he was telling me, he's like, hey, we've never spent time, we spent time in the city, but we've never stayed over in the city. Right. So we went, and we found this hotel, and dude, it was a lot of fun. I'm big into photography, so that's my favorite style of photography, street photography and architect photography. Right. So
perfect fucking place.
Perfect fucking place. But the night we went, I remember we went out, and we're walking, right? And we see this BMW. It's an M5, like a 2020. And this shit is wrecked, dude. Like, it looked like it flipped over.
Oh, shit.
And we're looking at it, and we're walking in the street, and it's right next to a police station. And we're just both looking, and we're like, how the fuck did this happen? So my buddy posted it on Instagram. All of a sudden, a bunch of people are like, yo, are you okay? Like, and then I posted it on my Snapchat, and people are like, yo, what the fuck happened? Are you safe? And, dude, I started laughing because we're like, we're good, man. We just found this car all fucked up in the middle of New York. And yeah, so we started walking around, and I remember there was some dude trying to sell him some Knicks tickets, and we're like, dude, the game's already on, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, yo, I'll sell you to them right now. And I'm like, how much? And he's like, give me $100 right now. I was like, yo, I'm not giving you $100.
Sketchy?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'll give you $20. And he's like, I can't do that, bro. And I was like, dude, I don't even watch basketball. So we just walked around. We went to a bar, man. We got pretty drunk. We watched, I remember it was Florida versus Florida State. Nice. And we were just watching that game, bro. We're both fucked up. And then we ended up going back home. We got some New York style pizza, man. And it fucked up my stomach that night.
I need some real East Coast pizza.
Yeah.
I've had a few places here where they claim, but I've never been, so I don't know.
There's some places here where the pizza's good. I don't know. Colorado Springs, man, the food isn't the best.
No,
the food,
all,
it's
bro.
all mediocre.
Colorado is in the center of, like, we have nothing.
Yeah.
So, like, even California got their own shit.
Yeah.
Texas got their own shit.
Yeah.
Oklahoma is kind of attached to Texas.
Yeah. New Mexico's
Kansas
got their own
City,
shit, too. Yeah.
New Mexico's got their own shit. Kansas City's got their barbecue.
Yeah.
We don't got shit.
There is nothing out here.
We're just picking and choosing from everybody.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
and it's poorly made versions of it too.
Everything is just very mediocre. It seems like it's not good, but it's not bad. It's all right. Like there's this one Mexican spot in Woodland Park that it's like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's okay. Like it's not Mexican. It is Mexican food, but it's just like very.
Is it by the donut mill?
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
Little, what's that place called?
I don't even know, man. I just found it randomly.
Burritos and shit.
Yeah. There's another one too, man. Right behind it is a Taco Bell. Yeah. And that one is
by the Safeway.
Yeah. The food is just all right, man.
Yeah. It's just I remember when first place I really went to was other than Kansas and Missouri is Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they had a place called Horry's Dog House or some shit like that. I don't know, it was like a little hot dog place.
Mm-hmm.
But every fucking place I ate there was like, holy shit. Like,
good.
This is how people are eating?
Yeah. That's like
same with Texas. When I went down to Texas and went to an Irish pub and had some wings, and I was like, oh my God.
It's like the Irish pub here in downtown, man. It's just okay.
Yeah.
It's just all right.
Colorado Springs has the worst bar food.
Yeah.
We got the worst food ever.
I don't know,
Even
man.
our Whataburgers here aren't as good as the ones in
Texas.
Oklahoma,
It's like
Texas.
it's like what's that In-N-Out? Like the In-N-Out here is just okay.
I hate the In-N-Out here, but I've never had like real In-N-Out.
Have you you never been to California?
No.
Dude, the In-N-Out's over there. I don't know what it is. I remember I went to an In-N-Out in California when I went to go visit my dad. We were supposed to get my grandfather in San Diego, because he went to Mexico and they dropped him off there. So we go there and we found this In-N-Out, and dude, it was packed. Like we had to wait 20, 30 minutes, and everybody's like, do you want food? I was like, I'll eat a burger, and I did. And I was the only one there. Dude, that burger was so good. And it was just a basic burger like that they sell, and it was so good. And even in Tucson, like they have In-N-Out there. It's not as good. The In-N-Out here sucks, but I don't know what it is about the food or the In-N-Out out there. But dude, it's like top level, man.
It's so weird. We don't have a lot of. We have a few hole in the wall places. Even some franchises. There's a McDonald's on Powers over by the airport that has all the shit that they discontinued like years ago.
Okay.
They still have it, like mushroom Swiss burger, all this shit. And every single time it's like freshly made. It's fucking perfect. But
what's your all-time favorite fast food place?
Whataburger.
Whataburger?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't grow up with it also.
Yeah.
They just now built them here this year. Maybe last year. But all right, ones that I like grew up on.
Just your all-time favorite?
Whataburger.
Whataburger.
Yeah.
You know one place I secretly love, dude, is Carl's Jr. I don't know what it is about, but they make
jalapeno burger.
I just get the California burger, dude.
That too.
And with barbecue sauce.
Yep.
And I don't know what it is, but maybe it's the one by my house, but it's so fucking good.
See, that's another one. Harless Jr. makes perfect fucking food here.
Yeah.
The one down the street has it looks like the fucking picture too.
Okay.
Every time. That one, and there's one up on Academy where I used to live. That's really good too. Sonnet is a hit or miss here.
I've never really.
Here.
I don't really. I think I've had Sonic a couple times, man,
I
and
love Sonic, dude.
I don't know, man. I think I've had it, like I said, just once. I've never, and I don't even remember if it was good or not.
Oh, you gotta get Sonic. Man.
I love Taco Bell, man. Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. I put that above Whataburger, actually.
Taco Bell is my all. I don't know what it's their
what do you
beef, dude. You know what I used to get for the longest time is the what was it? The one of the boxes that you get like 5 tacos and 5 burritos.
Ravens.
Yeah. I eat the whole entire thing,
dude. See, I don't like. I always get 2 beefy 5 layers, a cheesy gordita crunch.
Okay.
And chili cheese burrito. I'll eat all that shit.
Do you remember when they had the fire taco?
Yeah.
It's like on a red shell, and the sauce that they had.
Had like Dorito. Was it?
It wasn't Doritos. It wasn't. No, it wasn't Doritos.
The normal fire one.
It was the normal fire one.
Yeah.
They
don't have that no more?
I've never seen it. The last time I've ever seen it was when I still lived in New Jersey, and that's what I would get every single time.
They're always changing their menu a lot.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, but I love taco. I mean, I should eat it. I need to stop eating it because I don't know, man. It's just I've gotten a little bit lazier with my food lately. But dude, Taco Bell, it's top tier for me, man. I don't know what it is, but it's so fucking good. I even try making like a healthier version of it. It obviously doesn't come out as good, but it's still like their seasoning is pretty good.
Well, I like. How mad does it make you when you don't get the sauce in the bed at Taco Bell?
That's only happened to me once.
Really, that happens to me all the time.
It's only happened to me once, yeah.
And I'll make sure at the window now, but it just ain't the same without the fucking sauce, man.
No, I remember the one the one in downtown.
Yeah.
So I live right by there, and dude, there was
Platt,
off Platt, yeah. You know, a guy got shot by that Taco Bell like 2 months ago, I think it was.
Sketchy little area sometimes.
That area is pretty fucking sketchy, dude. I didn't realize that, but
a lot of that specific area downtown.
But let me ask you this, man. Obviously, you grew up here in the Springs. How was growing up here in the Springs, and how obviously it's grown, but is it getting more dangerous?
So different.
Is it completely different?
Powers was a dirt road.
Completely dirt?
Yeah, Powers was a dirt road. Same with the Academy.
Really? The whole what the fuck? So was there anything like what is that east or?
Let's see.
So all right, so it's all dirt road, right?
Right.
What was the other side of it?
Shit.
Was it just more dirt, or was it like land?
Powers?
Yeah.
East of Powers, there wasn't shit.
Really?
Nothing. This house wasn't here. Like technically, this. Powers. I mean, it's Mason Parkway. Okay. Powers. Everything east of Powers did not exist. All of these houses, nothing.
Dude.
This whole neighborhood didn't exist like 10 years ago. And now there's like 60 fucking neighborhoods right next to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, none of this shit existed. Powers was pretty much as far east as just anyone went.
Land, essentially.
Yeah. Way less fucking people. Like, unbelievably less. I drove by my old elementary school yesterday. And so when I was in 6th grade, they started building little trailers because of population, I guess. And they're building a whole nother half of the school onto the school.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. Like, there was no traffic ever. 5 o'clock traffic did not exist 4 years ago. Like, not even.
Dang, even for wow.
Yeah, 2015, 5 o'clock
That's
traffic
insane.
didn't exist. Like, even on the highway. Like, just didn't exist. Now there's fucking 8 a.m. traffic.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? But shit ton of fucking people. Everyone's moving here.
Yeah.
Texas and California.
That's the two main people,
Yes. And plus, we got Fort Carson, Peterson, we got the Air Force Base.
Mm-hmm.
We're surrounded by military bases.
Were they all there before, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know sometime with Obama, I don't know if they built onto Fort Carson or if they... I know a lot more people started showing up at Fort Carson in the military. I don't know why. But, yeah, everything's just crowded as fuck. Prices are through the fucking roof
definitely,
for everything, which has never been an issue. It's way different. Way different. I could walk... even now, right now, if at this time... 8:40 p.m. At this time, if I walked here down to my old high school, someone's gonna stop and say something. Someone's gonna fuck with you. Like
really?
Yeah.
Right now, or be back then?
Now.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Just like I felt you could feel safe having. Like I was like 7, roaming the neighborhood by myself, even at night, way later than this, and no issue. No worry about a car stopping or someone trying to kidnap you or something. Now it's like, now I'm worried about, okay, I might get robbed if I sit in this parking lot too long. I might get, just extra worries that
weren't there before.
Yeah, which other cities I'm sure.
Every major city I'm sure is going through that.
It's turning into a more of a major city.
Yeah.
I think in 10, 15 years,
it'll be like Denver is now, I think.
To Denver.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean,
I can see that.
We're pretty much connected to Monument.
Yeah.
Monument's pretty fucking close to connecting with Castle Rock. Castle Rock's already connected with Denver.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just growing and growing, and eventually
it'll all be one city. Yeah. That'll be kind of cool, I feel
like. Fort Worth and Dallas.
Is that what it is? Are they both connected?
I don't know. I don't know if they are. I know they're super fun, close.
Yeah.
I've never actually... Have I been to Dallas? I've driven through Dallas. Yeah, I think they're pretty fucking close. But, yeah, I think it's just going to be one big-ass fucking city in 15 years. They just keep building north. Yeah. I mean, they had to build the new lane on the highway. It used to be a 2-lane highway.
For going over to Denver?
Yeah, now it's, 4 lanes now?
Yeah.
Or parts of it is 4 lanes at least.
How was Denver back then? Would you ever go to Denver?
I went when I was little.
What is that, as big or no?
I didn't have much. My Denver experience was like in the car type shit. We never went up there to do anything unless it was like Six Flags or something like that. But which I went to like once. So I went a lot during my teen years for like the 420 rally, concert, shit like that. And by that time it was, I mean, I think Denver's always been pretty sketchy in some areas.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think now
it's even
probably, I don't know. I think it might be, I think a lot more of the nicer areas are getting sketchy.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of sketchy areas are kind of not too sketchy as they were. Yeah. There was a lot of gang shit in the 90s and 80s.
In Denver? What the fuck? For real? I didn't know that.
A lot.
I couldn't see that. Like,
yeah. I mean, now, too.
Really?
21st Street all the way to, what? I don't know. 21st to, trying to look at the map in my head. Arapahoe. Like, all that whole, over by the Rocky Stadium.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Pretty much any house around that area, sketchy.
Behind the Rocky Stadium or like
in front to the east. There's like one little area right there. Probably shouldn't go to.
Is that by like where that train station is?
Yes, right by the Union
Really?
Station.
I've been there so many times, bro. I thought that was like a rich area.
It is. See, that goes back to the good areas are a little more sketchy now than where the sketchy areas were.
Yeah.
Like, as I think they're just
building
out.
Yeah.
I mean, downtown Denver is.
It's a little sketchy. I've done a lot of street photography there.
Been at Colfax?
I think I have. Well, no, I haven't been like inside Colfax, but I've walked around it. Look, I'll be honest, dude. When I go to Denver, I go by the train station. And I just walk around that area and I take a bunch of photos. Yeah. But it smells like piss everywhere, dude. Yep. Yeah, it smells like piss everywhere. I know, what is that, 16th Street?
Yep. The 16th Street Mall. A lot of shit happens around that area.
Yeah, I do see a lot of. I know there's a lot of security officers there. I do a lot of street photography there, but it always smells like piss. I remember this one time, dude. I was taking this photo of this guy, and the street performer, and I was taking the photo of him. He just flips me off, and then I didn't see it at first, but he flips me off, so I get like a better angle, and then he flips me off again. And I look at him, and he's like, "I don't want my photo taken." I'm like, "Dude, you're out in fucking public." Yeah, you're a street performer. Like, I was gonna give you the picture too. Like, but all right, fuck me. And he's like, "I didn't want my fucking picture taken." I'm like, "Dude, you're out in public. Like, I can take a photo of you. Like, it's."
You gotta be careful of people who are just hanging around. Denver.
Yeah.
Because they're either on something.
That's what it is.
Mental issues. Usually. Always.
It's always drugs.
I mean, even downtown here.
Yeah, I work in downtown.
People,
yeah. So I see it all the time.
Chill are the ones to watch out for. But Denver's odd. A lot of suburbs are super sketchy too, like Aurora.
Yeah, Aurora.
God damn. That's starting to get pretty fucking sketchy.
That's where that shooting was, right? Dude, you know, one thing I've noticed here about Colorado Springs is there's a lot of shootings out here, man. We just had one literally like a month ago, and it was when I interviewed your brother-in-law, Limerick, and we were talking about that. It was literally the day before I interviewed him was when Club Q got shot up, and it's just very sad, man. But what do you think that is? Why do you think there's so many shootings out here? Because you had the Columbine, you had all these like high-profile shootings.
The Planned Parenthood one.
It was by my house actually. I knew somebody that got shot in that parking lot.
It's that's another weird thing about Colorado Springs. A lot of people know someone who's been in a mass shooting, which
that's a very sad thing.
So crazy to think about. I mean, even the Las Vegas shooting. That happened a few years ago. A lot of people from here, a school teacher from here got shot.
Really?
One of my sister's friends were there. We had a few different friends that were there. So something about these Colorado Springs people that get caught up into that. But I don't know. I think Colorado Springs has a way different. I think Colorado overall has people who aren't from here have a way different perception of it.
Yeah.
I think people think it's sweet. Like, shit ain't sweet here.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I think a lot of people see mountains and hiking and
snow.
And snow and sledding. They don't see the going down Jet Wing or 81st Street or shit like that. And it's like, we got that shit here too.
Yeah.
I'm more privy to it because of groups of people I ended up becoming friends with growing up.
Yeah.
But it's a weird place. I don't know what it is with the shootings, but there's a lot of people who are willing to do that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I know personally who I purposely do not hang around no more that I could see pulling some weird shit. I'm talking like gangster people too, like you don't see, like, usually some little white boy who's been bullied or some shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like, different races that are doing it here, too.
Yeah.
That's another thing. So I don't know what it is about here. That is kind of weird.
It is.
Just Colorado in a whole.
That's
Columbine.
The Aurora one. There was one at the Boulder one too.
Yep.
The Boulder one. It's just I don't know, man.
Thorn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been trying not to incriminate myself here. I've been in a bunch of situations that are sketchy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what that is.
What
I have to think about that.
Do you have any stories of? I'll be honest, man. Like, have I ever been in sketchy situations? Some, not really. Like this one. So me and my buddies had these traditions of we would go to New York. Like, let's say I went to visit, right? We would go to New York like the night before whoever's flight it was. It usually was me because I was the one either like in high school I went to military school, so I was gone a lot. But I moved to California and stuff like so. Anytime anybody was gonna leave our hometown, we would go to New York that night, and we would not spend the night, but we would stay pretty late into New York. And I remember this one time, man, we all there was a bunch of my friends, and it was I forget it was pretty late. But we got out of the subway, and we're like walking up, and all of a sudden we see these three dudes, and two of them were big, man, like 6 foot, 250, and this other dude who was probably the same height. They're all talking shit, dude. There's these girls behind them. They're talking shit too, and all of a sudden, dude, we look at them, and dude, both these dudes start jumping the one dude, and they start fucking him up, like literally. And then the one girl behind the guys, they were like, "Yeah, that's what you get for talking shit." And I don't know who it was from my friend group, but they're out there recording. So yeah, they're out there recording, man. And all of a sudden, the one guy that's beating on this one dude looks at us, and we're like, "Oh fuck!" So he looks at us, and then he just like goes like this. He's like, "Welcome to New York, motherfuckers." And then all of us started laughing, and we just walked away, man. We walked away, and we're like, yeah, no. My hometown, man, I'm not going to lie, was pretty safe. We did a lot of stupid shit.
What's your hometown?
It's called Dover, New Jersey.
Is that north or
It's
south?
North Jersey. It's in Morris County. And what people don't know, I don't know what the ranking is now, but at one time, it was the third richest county. Not saying, like, all right, so my hometown were a lot of immigrants, or not even like you had illegal immigrants and legal immigrants that moved there, all from like Central America or South America. So there was a lot of Hispanics there. It wasn't it was people starting their life essentially, but it was never really sketchy. You never had crime, and then like the surrounding towns were just all a bunch of white people. But a lot of people thought it was sketchy, but it wasn't. It was very safe. I mean, till this day, it's only 2 square miles. It's not big at all, but there's a lot of people that live there.
Do you think it's sketchy for other races at all?
No, not at all, dude. It's a very.
You think that's why people think it's sketchy?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be that person, but like a lot of white people, they'll look at there's a bunch of Hispanics, like they're up to something. But no, it's dude.
It's so weird how I think it was Tyler I was talking to about this the other day. How I don't know, it was my aunt. Hispanics are so like normal here.
Yeah.
More Mexican, I guess. That what was she? Her husband, boyfriend, I guess, they never got married, but my uncle, he's from Philly and New Jersey and that whole area. And I'm trying to think of what I asked her. I don't know. It's just weird to think that white people up there see Hispanics as like
dangerous sometimes.
Dangerous.
Yeah, they profile.
And
they profile.
Like, never once have I walked past a Hispanic and thought
anything different. Yeah,
like not even black people.
Yeah,
like, it's. I've always wondered race relations.
Yeah. Well, you like around here, this area of the U.S. was, if I may be wrong, but I believe it was one part of Mexico. So Mexican culture has always been ingrained in this area.
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado.
Everything in here is named Pueblo.
Exactly.
All the streets, Tejon.
Exactly.
Arapaho.
Yeah. And like you have that Mexican, you also have natives here. So like it's always been ingrained. Over there, you have a lot of, rich people. You have a lot of like fifth, sixth generation Italians where, like they grew up there and they're like, oh, all these, you have a lot of, people like that, man.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, man. I mean, I've never really felt that racism there, but, you have people like, oh, is Dover sketchy? And like, it's real. I mean, the thing is, you have a lot of illegal immigrants and legal immigrants that are there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they're like, oh, it's sketchy, but it's really not. But growing up, man, we had a lot of fun. And it's funny, my best friend's mom, she's like, you guys are like the UN. Like, you have so many different people, like different types of races here. But it was a lot of fun, man. We did a lot of dumb things as kids. And that's one thing where, it was not boring, but like we would find things to do when we were bored. We're like, all right, let's go throw rocks at something. Let's go, break into something. Let's go find something to do. And we were all creative, man. And we were just kids, dude, just fucking living a kid's life, man.
I always wanted to be. I wish I'd grown up in like the city.
Yeah.
I mean, even here, it kind of not really. Mm-hmm. Maybe like if I lived downtown or some shit, but. I mean, like a real city.
Yeah.
Like downtown city somewhere, like New York.
That would be cool, man.
It'd be so
that would be really cool.
Different.
Yeah.
The way like people grow up. Because here it's like, when I was growing up, we barely had houses here. We had a few neighborhoods and a Walmart. And I mean, not that it was super backwoods or anything. It was more of a city than not.
Yeah. It was developing. Yeah, it was developing. Yeah. So there comes to things with that, with like places that are developing because there's only so much that you can really do, but down the road there's going to be something there. Right?
Well, it's so different as here. It's what we gonna do for fun: go snowboarding, go skate, go four-wheeling, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's way different up there.
Oh yeah.
You're not going four-wheeling.
Yeah.
In the middle of I think a lot of people do go four-wheeling in the middle of New York, but you're not if you're a rapper, but you're not. I don't know. It's crazy to think how different. Sometimes you think like everyone grew up the way you grew up, and it's like
it's not.
Didn't even have like some people have never seen mountains before.
Yeah,
like that's
there was no mountains growing up where I lived, dude.
Like,
there was none. The only I remember the first time I saw mountains was in 8th grade when I went to LA. And I'm like, crazy. And I'm like looking at that, and I'm like, yo, this is so weird. Right. It takes 30 minutes to get to where we gotta go. Like what? But yeah, man. Like what we would do for fun sometimes too. Once my buddy got his license, we would just go on drives, man. And I remember we had this horse mask, so we would put on this horse mask, and then we would do one of these. We would look straight, and then we would look onto the next car over, and they would always, they would stare at us. But we would just once we got our license, that's where a lot of things opened up. Where we would start going to New York a lot. We would start going to different places, and that was a lot of fun.
That would be dope because when we got our license, it was go have a bonfire up off of Oldhampton Mountains.
Yeah, see, like we never did anything like that, dude.
Completely opposite. Yeah, and it's like very rarely do I ever hit downtown Colorado Springs. I haven't been there in like maybe like 2 years.
Really? Yeah. I live so close to it that I walk.
I drive through. Yeah, but actually walking around downtown, it's probably been more than 2 years. Honestly.
Really?
It's I don't know. It's just fucking crazy to think like we went to the mountains, y'all went to the city. It's fucking crazy. I wonder which ones you're more liable to get in trouble with. City or mountains?
Well, so let me ask you this: were the cops strict out here?
Were they what?
Were they strict?
Depends.
So
in the mountains, it's federal.
Oh shit. Okay, so you can get in serious trouble.
So, here's the thing, though. Everyone who grew up, like my parents' generation, they didn't grow up here, but like that generation,
that age,
it's all the same shit. They all went up at the same spot.
Yeah.
And so now it's more like dump your weed out,
go
the fuck home.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's always a shooting at a party.
Oh yeah, fuck that. See, there was none of that growing up, man.
See, I see. That's crazy. Because I would figure in my mind, I'm 16, 18, however old you got to be up there, going to New York City.
It was a lot of fun.
I'm fucking terrified.
So
I would be terrified.
So for us, the cops were very strict.
Really?
They were actually very, very strict. I'll give you a couple stories where, so the thing is with New Jersey, what people don't really know. So over here, Colorado Springs, you have Colorado Springs Police Department, right? And for the most part, I'm sure like different police officers have their own section, but over there, like we
got CSPD, El Paso County,
and state troopers,
and state troopers, and all right, let me tell this story.
Okay.
I gotta tell the story. Just get it out the way. I got stopped once. I've never been given a ticket. I've only been stopped 3 times. One in Texas. They searched me for weed, of course, which they didn't find, as I didn't have any. Once in Kansas, as they saw my Colorado license plate. I've been pulled over once here, and someone had robbed a bank. And they were driving the same car as me and had blonde hair, and I had just dyed my hair.
Damn. Blonde?
Yeah. And so the guy, and I had been talking mad shit. There had been a few police shootings here. I was talking mad shit on Facebook. And he pulled me over, got my license, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, didn't get my license. I didn't have my license on me. This dude hauled me Ty Beamer.
Oh, shit.
He slapped went like that and said, all right, Ty Beamer, have a good one. And I thought twice, like, Ty Beamer?
Yeah.
Like, wait a fucking minute. How do you know me? And he's pretty much hinted to, we know you. like Facebook-wise. 100%. As they follow me on Twitter, too, which is sketchy. But, so before I talk down about these police, they watch me, so some shit happens, y'all know. But, yeah, CSPD, I like them. El Paso County, I like them. Fountain, I think they're starting to get better with shit, but they used to be fucking assholes. State troopers are fucking assholes.
Are they?
Here. Yeah, fucking.
I didn't know that.
They're horrible. They're assholes, and it just depends which one etches you.
Yeah.
Like right here, we got all 4 of them working right here.
Yeah.
So it's random of who's gonna pull you over and whatnot. But I forgot the whole point in this.
Well, we're talking about cops, but in New Jersey, I was telling how strict they were. In my hometown, they were strict, but obviously, so each township has their own police department.
Right.
So you have 2 square miles that you patrol, so they're gonna be, they have nothing to do.
Right.
You go a mile up the road, and it's another police department. You go another 2 miles, it's another police department. You go another 2 miles, so you have all these different police departments, and you have Morris County. You have the Morris County sheriffs.
Right.
Then you have the state troopers. But the state troopers, they're out in the highway. The state troopers are dude, it goes up. Right. So you have your township county cops, they're dicks. You have your sheriffs, they're even more dicks. You have your state troopers, you're fucked. Like if you get pulled over by a state trooper, dude, you are fucked because they don't fuck around. Like they're known.
Same here.
They're well known in New Jersey. It's like a California Highway Patrol. Gotcha. They're like people know. Like doesn't matter where you're from. People know that New Jersey state troopers, they're dicks. That's how they always been. They're very professional, but they're fucking assholes. I remember this one time where I have a lot of cop stories, man. I mean, not that I got in trouble a lot, but it was just typical kid stuff. But I'll give you this one story. So my township of Dover, there's a township called Rockaway. So the thing with New Jersey too is I don't know if they still have them, but diners are 24 hours.
Right.
So whenever we would be bored, we would go and drive to the diners, you know, to go get food. If
They used to be here too, by the way.
Really?
There's not a lot that.
COVID shut that down, man. I think
Denny's used to be, but we don't have Denny's.
Oh yeah, see, we don't have Denny's over there, man. I mean, sure that there is, but you had like
House, maybe.
You have like Dover, like you have your Dover, what the fuck? What are they called? Diner. You have your different like good diners, dude. So we were gonna go to this one, the Rockaway Diner. The food there is like really, really good, and it's cheap too. You know, for kids just freshly out of high school. Right. So we're going over there, man. I want to say it's maybe 11 or 12 at night, and we're all doing the speed limit. I actually lend my friend I had a second car at the time, so I lend it to him, and we're like, oh, let's all go to this diner. So we're driving, dude, and we're the only ones on the road, and I get stopped instantly, and the cop pulls me over, and sure enough, it was. And the thing is, with Rockaway, it's a very white. There's a lot of white people there, right. So they see us, and he pulls me over, and he's like, "Where are you guys going?" And I'm like, we're all going to the diner. Yeah, we're just going to the diner. And he's like, where are you guys coming from? Dover. And he's like, where are you guys going again? The diner. And he's like, where did you guys come from? Fucking Dover.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. And then he looks into my center console, and my friend just ate graham crackers. He's like, what is that? I'm like, it's literally just graham crackers, officer. You can touch it. You can do whatever you want with it. I have nothing to hide. So he looks at it, and he fucking points his flashlight at it. And he's looking. He's like, all right, where are you guys going? Like the diner officer. He's like, all right, cool. Have a nice day. So we go. So we're going back now. My buddy gets pulled over, dude. Same fucking cop, bro. The crazy thing is, I didn't have insurance in the car, and I didn't know because I haven't used that car. It was this old BMW that I have. Right. So I don't know. I don't know how the fuck my friends. I don't know what happened. But he got out of it. Shit. So we ended up driving. No, well, he looked white, but okay. So it was the kid was Colombian, and then my friend was black. Okay. So they were both in the car. I don't know how he got out of it. Like I said, I didn't know at the time because I thought everything was good with the car. So we ended up going back to my house, and my friend's like shaking. He's like, dude, you didn't have fucking insurance on the car. And I'm like, oh, fuck, Ricky. Like, I didn't know. You know, I completely forgot. But there was this other time, man, where this one was justified, you know. So I had one of my friends who, he was a little bit more well off. His family was more well off. And his dad was a Vietnam vet. So this motherfucker had a bunch of cool stuff, dude. He had this bow and arrow, like a legit hunting bow and arrow. So it was a group of my friends. And a lot of those kids, man, they were like troublemakers. So I go to my one friend because they were like, oh, what are we going to do? And I'm like, oh, my friend has a bow and arrow. And they're like, okay, let's go get that. So he lived right in front of the elementary school. So we were by the elementary school. I knock on his door. I was like, hey, man, like, are you doing anything? He's like, no, I have to stay home. I think he was doing homework. And he's like, oh, actually, no, I told him, I was like, can I borrow your bow and arrow? He's like, yeah, sure. So he gives it to me. I was a little kid at the time. He gives me these fucking long-ass arrows. So I got it, and I remember we're like, all right, let's go to the baseball field. So we go to the baseball field, and we started playing chicken. So we launched the arrow. I remembered I wasn't strong enough at the time, so my other friend, he did it. So, and dude, these things like are meant to kill like animals. Yeah. So we launch them up, and they start coming down, and we're like having our dude. So all right, no one gets injured, right? Yeah. So we got all the arrows. We start walking to the high school. All of a sudden, man, we look in front of us. A cop car stops by, and then we were going to ditch, or like we were going to start running, and then another cop car stands behind us. And all of a sudden they get out and they draw their weapons, and they're like, get the fuck down. So my buddy throws the bow and arrow into the river, and all of a sudden we're on the floor, dude. My one friend's about to cry, and all of a sudden they like, he didn't like stomp on my back, but he puts his boot on my back. And they're like, where's the bow and arrow? And we're like, we don't know what you're talking about. And then all of a sudden, they find it. So we all get taken down to the station, dude. And we're all sitting there. We're like, fuck. My one friend's like, don't say nothing. And we're like, all right. So we're just sitting there, man. A detective comes. He's like, whose bow and arrow is this? And they all look at me. I was like, you guys fucking suck, man. So I'm like, it's not mine. It's my friend's. And they're like, all right, well, you guys just write a note. And we want it by Monday on why you guys are stupid. And that's it. And we're like, that's it? They're like, he's like, yeah, we're keeping the bow and arrow though. So we got off from that one, and then another time, dude, we had BB guns. They were shooting at cars, and then we got caught. Oh, I've done it. Yeah, and so this one, the one car stopped, and all of a sudden, the cop comes, he grabs the bow and arrow, or not the bow and arrow, the guns. He's just smashing them. But we never got like, we did stuff like that, man. But they were all assholes. They were all fucking dicks all the time, dude.
See, we did, yeah. Compared to that, I mean, it depends on the age. I think when I had a few run-ins in elementary and junior high.
Me too, yeah.
Were never a big deal.
Yeah.
Getting older is when it started being a big deal.
Yeah.
Where hops thought you were old enough for them to put their hands on you.
Yeah.
And all my friends growing up were not the greatest people.
Yeah.
But so I saw it firsthand, the police out here, and it's like just certain people.
Yeah.
I got this buddy, white dude,
Mm-hmm.
who's been in and out since he was like 12.
Oh,
And so they know him well.
Yeah.
So he was at a bar down in Fountain,
Mm-hmm.
and with his, I want to say, girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, whatever. She was in the bar. They had just came from another bar,
Mm-hmm.
and he was trash. So
They drove?
She drove. She wasn't trash.
Okay.
So he stayed in the car while she was at this bar and was sleeping
Oh, fuck. Yep.
in the back seat.
Yeah.
Sleeping in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
They bust the window. They drag him out the window.
Yeah.
And beat the hell out of him. No key in the ignition.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
He got charged?
Yeah, got charged. Went to jail for it.
Yeah.
A bunch of shit that they pick and choose certain people, and I wouldn't even say I will say race wise there was a long time where I didn't even really know racism was like a legit real thing.
Yeah.
Until like 2016ish, and my black friends, just seeing how they would be treated was like, oh shit.
Yeah, this is real.
Worse for y'all.
Yeah, this is real.
Like,
yeah.
They pick and choose some white people, but
Yeah.
all of y'all are getting like fucked by them. And yeah, it's crazy. I took one of my buddies, he's half black, to Tennessee.
Mm.
Well, that's another thing about Colorado. Most black people here are half.
Yeah. I can see it.
I mean, of course, there's full
Yeah.
black people here, but most are half,
Mm-hmm.
and very light-skinned people. When I went to Tennessee with him, that's when I realized, like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
When people are talking about racism, they're not talking about these half, not to take away from any racism they experience, but, like, we're not around a lot of black people here. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really realize, actually, I didn't realize that till I moved to Oklahoma. Mm. That's when I was like, oh, there's not even mixed people here. Yeah. It's just white and black and then Korean. And, in Tennessee, that was the first time I started, like, actually realizing it, like, oh, mixed people aren't huge everywhere. Yeah. And people hated him in Tennessee.
Really?
We went to that dog house, that hot dog place I was telling you about earlier, and the people who were making them came around the counter, stood like this. I was just staring him down.
The waiters, or?
Yeah, the waiters, it's kind of like a Subway type place. All of them came around and just sat there and stared. And he noticed it. I got up because I'm one of those don't fucking stare at me guys. Yeah. And he pulled me down real quick, and I was like,
it's not worth it.
Don't deal with it.
It's not worth it.
What the fuck's going on here? Yeah. Wait a minute. Like, no, they're fucking with me or something. Yeah. He was like, dude, look at me and look at you. Yeah. And look at everyone else in here. Yeah. There's black people, there's white people, and then there's me, who's mixed. It's me they have an issue with. So we left, and they came outside and was yelling shit at them, like, as we were leaving. Yeah. And it was like, that was like my first, like, oh shit. Yeah. Like,
this exists. Yeah.
Like, yeah. I'm super curious with people who are from other places. Yeah. And like racism, because like racism, and maybe it's just as I'm white and like I don't experience it firsthand, but yeah, I don't know, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's you brought a good point, man. That's why I really have no desire to go to the South, because I hear a lot. When I drove from New Jersey to LA, I tried to, like avoid this. Obviously, I couldn't, but I tried to drive as fast as I can through the South, just because I didn't want to. It was terrifying, man. I'm not gonna lie.
You ever seen My Cousin Vinny?
I have, yeah.
Did we talk about that already?
No.
Okay, that's what that would remind me of. Like, I could never picture. I thought about this driving through Texas to go to Oklahoma once. I would be terrified if I was black driving through Texas at 3 a.m. No one around, and I got pulled over in Texas, in the middle of fucking Texas, like no city nearby, nothing, and it was like 15 minutes north of Amarillo. Yeah, almost said armadillo. Nothing, just desert or whatever. And I remember sitting there. He searched my car because he saw my license and was like, "Oh, weed.
You might have weed, yeah."
And I remember sitting on the side of the road, like,
can they do that?
How they and there?
Yeah. See, I don't fuck with Texas, bro. To be completely honest with you,
dude, it was so weird because everything was fine until, as I had just bought my car, so I didn't have Colorado plates. And I give him my license. Immediately says, as soon as he sees it, "I smell weed." And I was like, "I don't have no weed, but go ahead." And Ashley came around and opened my door. I was like, and patted me down. I was like, "You can go ahead and search." Or he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I am." And I was like, I was standing on the side trying. I didn't move a fucking muscle. I didn't move from where my feet were planted. And for like 45 minutes, this dude was tearing up my car. And I remember just thinking, like, he's being biased because I have a Colorado license. Right. How different would it be if I had a Colorado license and I was black? Yeah. And that started making me think, like, there's like an actual issue here. Yeah. Because, I mean, obviously, I didn't have to go through that to know that. Yeah. But, like, it was terrifying. Like, I guarantee you if I was black, it wouldn't have went the way it went. Right. And I could just tell by the guy, too. Like, this dude's a professional asshole. Yeah. And I don't know. It just makes me wonder, like how I'd be terrified to travel in my car to another state being black. Yeah. Like, I'm terrified to do it white. Yeah. Because I don't trust hops at all. Yeah. Still. But,
you know what, man? Funny enough, I actually wanted to become a cop for a little while. It was something that I really, really wanted to do, and I actually tried out. And I did pretty good. I'm really bad with standardized tests, but I'm kind of glad I didn't become a cop, man, because it's a very...
Especially now.
Yeah, it's a very...
looking over your shoulder.
Exactly.
I was a security guard, and even just that was super sketch. People hated me. Yeah. And
because you're
in uniform.
Exactly.
It looks like you're police, even though you're not. Like, it was just sketchy sometimes. Like, just the looks I would get from certain people, and it's like, yo, I'm on your side. This is just a job to me that I found. Yeah. like, I'm not a cop or nothing. But, yeah, that'd be terrified to be a cop, too.
Yeah, and I did it I was going to do it in Tucson, too, which a very scary place to become a cop because it's 40 miles away from the border. Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of issues with policing now. And it is a very touchy subject, man, because I'm not a cop supporter.
You're not a denouncer.
Exactly. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say all cops are bad.
Right.
You know,
and I kind of, just to reiterate, I don't mean that at all. I just don't. When I say I don't like them, I don't know which one is the good one. Right. So when I get pulled over, I'm gonna have my anxiety.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have my.
No, I mean,
I'm always gonna be respectful, but the moment I don't get that respect returned, there's always that thought of
this cop's a dick.
He can do anything he wants right now in the middle of nowhere and say whatever he wants, and it's his word against mine.
Exactly.
And I'm fucked. And there's a lot of great fucking cops.
Yeah.
I know a cop here who was the DARE officer for.
I know a cop too. Yeah, out here in but it got to the point where he quit.
I wonder if it's the same guy.
Bald dude?
No.
Okay.
My guy.
He quit.
Deputy Dom. He's the shit. I love that guy. He quit. He told me some stuff last time I saw him, actually, on why he quit. So I'll just leave it at that.
Last guy too, same thing. He told me why he quit. Yeah. The thing with cops, man, is there is a lot of good. It's like when people say, where was I going to go with this? Look, there's a lot of good cops out there, man. Yeah. There is a lot of bad cops out there too. I was listening to this podcast, and it was a police officer, or I think he was a police officer, and he was saying that he's giving his points of view and stuff like that.
Theo Vaughn?
No, it wasn't. Was it? Yeah, it was Theo Vaughn. Yeah.
I just watched that one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was like some random dude, right?
Police officer.
Yeah. That's the one I was listening to. He was saying how. Look, I understand, their job is it's a very stressful job. Yeah. It's not like working at McDonald's. Yeah. It's not like...
They're just as terrified, by the way, too, sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. They're terrified, dude. And
they don't know me.
Exactly. But every situation, they don't know what's going to happen. Right. And I respect that. Look, listen, I respect them.
That on edge
all time. Yeah, all time.
Even when you're just chilling there.
Exactly. When you're chilling, like...
Jetween, I'm weird. I go through like hold cases. I love trying to figure shit out myself. And there's a hold case right off of Academy up here that happened in like 2005. Cop was just chilling, and someone came up and shot him in the head. Yeah,
it's like those guys from New York. Remember, I think it was at the beginning of the year. Those two guys, they were just in their cop car or in their cruiser. Yeah. And then one dude came and just shot them both.
That happened in L.A. too, on a movie set. It was the dude from Law and Order. They were filming.
Oh, really?
And he wasn't a cop. He was filming as if
actor.
He was a cop.
Yeah.
And he was just chilling in the car, and they came and shot him.
Did he die?
Yeah. Thinking he was a cop.
But my thing with cops, man, is I think the guy was saying where, he was saying, oh, there's a lot of bad doctors out there. The thing with cops, man, and that point of view is with doctors, they hold themselves accountable. Yeah. With police officers, most of the time they don't. Like he was saying,
it's that brotherhood type shit.
Exactly. And my guy, not to get too much into his story, the guy who here CSPD, he was saying how like they don't hold each other accountable. No. And that's the biggest problem with policing today is they don't hold each other accountable. Like
it's more of a I got your back.
Exactly. Even if I don't like you. Even if I don't like you, like I got your back. Even if you're a shitbag cop and I might be a good cop, you're still going to get away with whatever that you're going to do. And look, dude, I know a dude that was a cop, and he was telling me he was a cop out in Jersey. And he was telling me he was a cop like back in the day too. And he was saying how whenever they loved doing drug cases because they would go to the house and they would take some money.
See?
Yeah, like you know what I mean?
Well, that dude in New York, he did it for years. They made a documentary about him somewhere. It was a few years ago I watched, but he was dirty as fuck. He was making like millions off of drug houses. Yeah. And it's like, it's fucking nuts. Yeah. He was taking drugs.
Yeah, while he was there,
Yeah. That's from the police station. Like he would walk into the police station and take that shit.
That's my issue with policing nowadays, man, is that specifically.
I could never be a cop and sit there and let that happen. But also when you're in that position and you're a cop,
it's hard. Yeah,
they could fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. So and they know all your information.
Yeah, I'm sure the good ones are fucking terrified as well.
And imagine if you have a police department full of shitty cops, dude, and you're that one cop that is trying to do everything, everything that is right. They're not gonna like that, man. Yeah, easily
get you down for something.
Exactly.
Like that's another reason why I don't trust. I've seen too many body cam footage of planting shit in cars. That was what I was scared of when I was in Texas.
Look at what was it, George Floyd, where the dude
Yep.
Look at the cops behind him, dude.
Yep.
They weren't doing anything. They're, like, hey, you don't know what you're gonna do in a situation like that.
To tell the pedestrians,
Yeah,
back up.
yeah, like
He just got sentenced.
Exactly, yeah.
Who said that?
And you've seen multiple situations like that, dude, where like the cops behind them. I was watching this one video, dude.
No matter what that cop's doing, he ain't stopping.
Exactly. I was watching this one video on this kid who, I think he was he was coming back from college. He was a football star. I think he was a quarterback in whatever school he was in, and he gets pulled over. And this kid is straight edge, like he's a football player. He can't do drugs. He gets tested all the time. Didn't have anything. He was driving fine. He gets pulled over. And the cop was telling him, he's like, what are you doing out so late? He's like, listen, man, I'm just trying to get home. I'm coming from college. Like, I don't have anything, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, you're slurring your words. And the dude's like, he's like, have you been drinking? He's like, dude, I can't even buy alcohol.
Is this the dude who went off on the guy in the police station?
Yes.
Yes, I watched.
You see, and then
he said, "I want him to come in."
Yeah,
and give me my apology.
And then
people, you know how stupid you look.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, so he was like a light skinned kid, right?
Yeah.
He made him do all the tests, and it was raining outside too, and it just so many situations like that too, man. Where like what happened to me. I've never really been pulled over by the police, but I've had those experiences where it's like, dude, I'm literally just going out, and I understand you don't know what's gonna happen. But
also, you pulled me. The thing is, you don't know what's going to happen at a traffic stop or anything like that as a cop. Mm-hmm. But also, why are you pulling me over in the first place?
Exactly.
Because we're full of people who aren't white in this car.
Yeah. Well, not even that. I'm sure because my windows were tinted, but we were literally doing the speed limit. We're just driving. Yeah, I was in a sports car, but
so why are you pulling me over in the first place? You're putting yourself in that danger.
Exactly.
You're gonna cause some stupid shit.
Exactly.
And see, the accountability thing. I don't like people who don't take accountability.
Exactly.
I fucking will not be your friend. I fucking will not put up with it.
Yeah.
So, cops, it's take some fucking accountability.
Exactly.
Like,
I know it's not as simple as that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that the different police departments have their own issues too. A lot of it is leadership too.
Yeah.
Their chain of command is just not.
Yeah.
Like you look at the lady in Tampa, dude. She's like, you saw that. Yeah, you saw that video, man. It's just like, you have a lot of people. Like, imagine being a good officer, dude, and your head of police or your chief of police is that. Like how?
Like, what do you do?
Exactly. What do you do?
You can't do nothing.
You can't do nothing.
Either shut up or quit.
Exactly.
And it's almost cool, the brotherhood part.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Not in that way.
Exactly.
I want my friends to tell me if some shit went down. I give an example right now. My buddy, we were up in the mountains, and his girlfriend at the time was messing with this dude. Mm-hmm. This is in high school. And we see both of them on the side of the road in the mountains, as we just happened to be up there and saw them. And this dude got out of his car. They started fighting. Of course, I fought with him. And afterwards, I told him, like, you were in the wrong. You put me in a fucking situation.
Yeah.
Recognize that, take the accountability for it, and make sure you don't do that shit again.
Yeah.
You fucking take me the fuck home, then drive back up there and do what you're gonna do. I don't want no part of it. Take some accountability. I want my friends to do that to me if I ever step out of line. Not like a cop. Like if I'm that dude who was standing over Derek Chauvin, or that guy who was on George Floyd's neck. Mm-hmm. I'm not letting that happen.
Yeah.
Like, you're taking the account, especially at a life and death situation like that. Like, you're taking accountability now, not later.
Exactly.
I'm not helping you out now. And we're figuring, like, get the fuck off him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's accountability is a bitch with people for some reason.
Yeah.
They don't want to a lot of people don't want to take accountability for shit.
Yeah, I mean, I see that too. You know, not just in the policing aspect, but you know, in life in general too, man. People, they just don't. You know, I don't know. They don't want to be accountable for the things that they do. They rather just blame people, and you see it a lot too with everything. Why. It's easier,
isn't it? It is. But
it's easier.
It's almost harder.
But people don't see that in the long run.
Know.
People don't see that in the long run.
Like you feel so good when you. I'm about to sneeze. Maybe not. But, yeah, maybe not. You feel good, like when you take accountability for shit, and it changes. Like your actions change once you face yourself in the mirror, and it makes life so much easier. Right. It's just like certain things people just don't want to change.
That is true, yeah.
And I think that's where they're like, why do I need to take accountability when I want to continue doing this?
Yeah.
So, like, if I face myself in the mirror, that's going to fuck it all up.
Right.
And, I don't know. I think there's a lot of different shit with people.
Yeah. I know you're a sports podcast, and we barely talked about sports.
Dude, we haven't fucking done shit.
I know, yeah. We haven't,
let's get into fighting, man.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question, bro. I know, you're big into boxing.
More UFC.
UFC, yeah, I was literally just about to ask you that. But Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence, who do you think wins that fight?
I don't know.
It's a tough one, dude. It's a tough one.
Who's the third guy that's in the midst with that?
Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. To be completely honest with you,
Am I
man,
missing somebody? Isn't there someone Errol Spence was trying to fight instead of him?
Yeah.
Or Crawford was trying to fight?
No. The one dude that fought Pacquiao and he lost his belt. Keith Thurman.
Oh,
Keith Thurman was third, but I mean he lost to. Yeah.
I don't even know who I would want to win.
See,
maybe
that's
Crawford.
You see,
I like Crawford.
Yeah,
but I'm on the fence with Crawford.
See,
I watch his interviews, and it's a hit or miss. I either don't want to listen to him again, but then the next interview is like, okay, I see where he's.
See, with Terrence Crawford, I'm kind of biased because I seen him. He trains at where I train at. Oh yeah, and seeing him in person, man, it just, I don't know, it's so different. You know what I mean? I actually want to go and take a picture with him, but I don't know, man. I think Terrence wins. I don't know. That's a very iffy one because
I think he trains here.
He trains here, yeah.
Where's Spence train?
In Texas. He's from Texas. Yeah, he's a Texas boy.
I think.
It's an iffy fight, man. I think it's a 50-50.
Well, I got to go with Terrence just as he's training here.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he trains out by the airport.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, by the way, this is off topic. I get so upset when fighters don't train in Colorado. It's like, do you realize this is literally that's why the Olympic training center is here. It's the perfect place to fucking train with the elevation, all that stuff.
Definitely. But maybe that's why Crawford wins all his fights, man.
I know a lot of people who went to like Big Bear, California to train.
Triple G, that's where Triple G trains at. And I'm a big Triple G fan, man. I love that dude. I mean,
I feel with him and Canelo.
I thought he won the first two fights. The second one could have gone either way. The third fight he lost. He's just old though, man. Yeah. He's what, like 40 something?
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, he's old, dude. I think he should retire. In my opinion, I think he's a little 100%. Too old. But he can still keep up with some of these. Like, I think he beats Charlo. In my opinion, dude.
I don't know.
I think he beats Charlo, man.
I
think so, dude. Just because you've seen what Triple G has done, or Canelo has done to him, and I don't think Charlo doesn't really have power compared to. He might have a better work rate, but
Who did he just fight?
I don't even know, man. To be completely honest with you, I don't follow I follow the younger one a little bit because he became undisputed. But the older one, I don't know, man. I don't really know too much about him. I'll be completely honest with you, bro. Boxing now has. I was talking to this one guy at the gym about it, and it's just very disappointing lately.
Yeah.
You know, the big fights have been good, but every other
fights are supposed to be being made. That's one thing why I drift to UFC.
Yeah.
They make those fucking fights.
They make those
fights
fights,
that are
dude.
supposed to be happening.
Yep.
They make. I don't give a fuck if it's like Sean O'Malley just fought Piotr Jan.
What'd you think of that fight?
Oh, he fucking won.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, have you seen the Patty one? I haven't seen that one.
Okay.
You-
Let's get into it. I got a lot of stuff to say about both of that.
Uh-huh.
So, which fight you want to start at?
The Patty one.
Patty.
Yeah.
Okay. I had it 1-1 going into the third round.
Mm-hmm. They fought 3 rounds, right?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the fight.
The thing is, I think Patty could have lost. I think it was more leaning towards him losing both rounds than winning any of the rounds.
Yeah.
So Gordon kind of came in and just was in a drift to fucking victory.
Mm-hmm.
And Dana White came out and blasted him and said that was a shitty game plan. You don't go in the third round thinking you win. You don't know what the judges' scores are. Which is weird because I've never heard him. This happens constantly in UFC. I've never heard him say that. And
he did with George St. Pierre that one fight.
Well, that's the thing though.
Uh-huh.
He has his favorite people.
Yeah.
He's got GSP, Hunter, Patty.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Patty it was more of they got a more fighter promoter relationship, kind of like Dana and Hunter had.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the closest next to that.
Yeah.
And not that Dana has anything to do with the judges, but I mean, who knows? But I don't know. I don't think he won the third round either, because.
So you thought he lost all 3 rounds?
His whole thing was, I think he could have won 1, but other than that, I think he could have lost 3.
Yeah.
I could see a judge saying he lost all 3, but I don't understand how Dana can say that's a shitty game plan when it was pretty. I mean, he won that round as well, though.
Yeah.
The last round, so it's like. Why are you talking about the third round when that's not even the round in question? Because he held him up against the fence the whole time, but Patty didn't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can take someone. It's like a takedown. Like with O'Malley and Piotr Jan, he took him down a few times, but he got right back up.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, "Oh, he lost that fight." I was like, "Yeah, but the takedown don't
Didn't
mean
do
shit
nothing,
when he doesn't do nothing.
Exactly.
It's the damage." And that whole round, he was just pushing him up against the fence. That was all that was happening. But, like, he was doing something. Patty wasn't doing nothing to stop it. like nothing happened in that round except Patty being pushed up against the fence.
Right.
So, automatically, he lost that round. So, yeah, they got that wrong. I think they got it wrong. Patty didn't win that fight. Sean O'Malley 100% won that fight. I don't know why people think he fucking lost. He lost the first round and clearly won the other rounds. Just weird judging in UFC. There always has been. Same with boxing. Too.
Yeah.
Boxing.
Judges.
Boxing is notorious. Fucked up. Put Floyd in there with the decision.
Yeah,
I mean, Floyd has clearly won pretty much all of his fucking fights, though.
What do you think about that Maidana fight? The first Maidana fight Do you think he lost that fight?
Literally, right as I said that, I thought he's gonna ask me about him. Yeah.
I thought he lost that fight too.
Lost that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of well known. He lost that fight.
I think the more well known one was the one earlier in his career with Diego Corrales. I think.
I'm trying to think.
It was like I think he was still Pretty Boy Floyd.
Boy?
Yeah, it was still Pretty Boy Floyd. Yeah.
I don't know much about Pretty Boy.
Yeah.
Floyd.
If you have a chance, that's obviously when he was more exciting too. What do you think about the Darren Till fight, man? That one kind of broke my heart because I'm a big Darren Till fan.
I love the gorilla.
Me too.
Darren Till.
He's just what is it? The Masvidal fight or no? It was what fight where he just started going down?
Woodley.
Okay, there
Woodley
you go.
Fight.
Yep.
He got knocked out by Woodley, I think.
Do you think that changed ever since? You think he'll be the same or no?
I don't think he'll ever be a top contending guy again. I think he may get a win or two here, but I think it's
done
after that.
It sucks, man, because he's just such a
he knows it.
You think so? You can see it in his eyes a little bit too, man.
I mean, I think also, who did he just fucking fight?
I don't know the dude, but he lost to him.
Fuck.
He got choked out, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember who he fought, but it was a good fight. He was landing some shots. So if you look at it that way, he just got caught in a submission.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he got whooped in that last 30 seconds, but it was a very competitive fight. He could have ended that fight at one point.
Yeah, and he's training with Khamzat too, which you would have thought like, okay, that would have.
Well, Khamzat's he's
that dude is something else, man.
I don't like him at all.
Uh-huh.
I don't like him, not because I don't like him, just because interviews and stuff. I heard him say I don't like.
I killed them all.
I like watching him.
Yeah,
he's super. I imagine I'm a huge Honor fan.
Okay,
so I imagine, people who hate Honor. I imagine that's how I feel.
All right? What do you think about McGregor, man? Do you think he's coming back, or what is going on with him, man? He's made so much money too. Where
I think he comes back.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think he comes back, man. I don't think he against who would he fight?
Oh, there's so many, bro. Okay.
You know what would be a good fight? Him and Michael Chandler.
Yes, that was the first one I was going to say. I hope he doesn't take that fight.
I think he loses that fight, man. In my humble opinion,
he does too.
Michael Chandler, dude. I know he's lost 2-3 fights so far.
He does now. I think if I don't hear what anyone says. I don't hear that they fought 3 times. We need another Poirier fight.
I think so too, man.
Because that last fight wasn't a fucking fight.
Yeah.
Poirier can say it all he wants.
But he got his ass whooped, man. You can't say.
I don't think he did.
I mean, he was doing good at first, but dude,
here's the thing. Let's go through the.
Wait, that was the 3rd fight, right?
Yeah.
A 4th fight. That would be a 4th fight, right? Yeah. If they, I would love to see a 4th fight with them.
Here's the thing. So obviously we know what happened the first fight. Mm-hmm. Second fight, Dustin knocks him out.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say about the second fight, and I will tell everyone, you including, watch that second fight again. He had Poirier out on his feet multiple times.
I could see that.
He outboxed him. Mm-hmm. He looked better than him the entire time, minus the late hits.
That's what he was doing, the boxing stuff, right? Yeah, he was catching him some.
He was popping him good.
That's what it was. He was popping him.
I mean, Poirier even said it in one interview. People don't want to acknowledge that for some reason, but he was popping him good. And Poirier said, I watched everything, the embedded, all the interviews they do. Anytime Honor fights. And Poirier even said, I get into this weird thing where I just start fucking throwing random punches, flurries of punches, and I need to stop doing that because someone's going to fucking etch me one day. And he started doing that. And it reminds me of amateur boxers who aren't legit boxers. Like someone takes a street fighter out into the gym.
Yeah.
They're going to be
just throwing
wild, and it's harder to box someone who's doing that
right.
than someone who's boxing.
Right.
And so I think Hunter was like,
he was bobbing and weaving.
He wasn't even fighting at this point, Poirier. He was just throwing. He was brawling. And Hunter was like, this ain't fucking strategic. What the fuck? And that happened to him once with Nate Diaz when he got him up on the edge, just throwing random punches, and he was in the clipped, and Hunter panicked and was like, what the fuck's that?
Yeah.
Like, this ain't my type of fighting. Like, this ain't. So I think he got frustrated, was like, fuck it, let's just go at it. Clipped him with no skill. Not to take that away from him. He knocked him out. I think he clipped him with zero skill. He just threw wild fucking punches like he always does, which usually costs him the fight.
Well, you kind of saw that too with Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler was giving him that work, bro. Yeah. It was kind of. I thought Michael Chandler was gonna win that fight.
I didn't think Poirier had a chance.
Going into it, I thought Poirier was gonna win. But then watching the fight, I'm like, yo, this dude is going to lose.
I think Poirier's the most overrated fighter.
See, I don't know.
And that, by the way, that has nothing to do just as I'm a Hunter fan.
Yeah.
I thought this before the second fight.
Yeah.
Let's go to the third fight real quick, though. Third fight, Poirier's being more technical, and he's popping him. Hunter's popping him as well, though. It's pretty equal on the feet. He almost sinks in that submission as his leg was fucked up. And obviously we learned afterwards that
it was compromised.
It was already fucked up.
Yeah.
Like the UFC knew, they all knew. So he took him to the ground, which, of course, Poirier, being a black belt, ain't going to assume Conor McGregor's going to take him down. Right. Almost is that guillotine. And Poirier even said, like, he was down there like, oh, fuck. Yeah. He's got me. It's out, and there's that little flurry of when they're punching each other, and Poirier standing behind him. Rewatch that in slow motion. Poirier doesn't land a shot. Not one fucking punch he lands.
I'll have to rewatch that, because I thought he was.
Yeah, not one punch lands. Not one. And Hunter is popping him with the elbow. He's popping him. He did grab his glove inside of his glove and up kicked him, which
is that illegal?
Yes. But also, the whole feud, because they didn't feud the second time.
No, they didn't. The third time, he's talking so much shit.
He said Hunter wasn't donating that money. He said he would, and if I'm Hunter, and I believe Hunter that he was gonna do that. He just dusted him out and started fucking talking like that. Yeah. So in my mind, if I'm Hunter, this ain't just a UFC fight, dog. Yeah. I'm fucking you up. So I'm grabbing the gloves and I'm popping you in the fucking net too. But anyways, and then they get up, he breaks his leg, and that's that. But I want everyone to go back and watch those last two fights from pretend as if you want Hunter to win. Yeah. And sit there and watch what Hunter's doing and see as I do that a lot too, where I'll watch a fight where I'm rooting for this one guy, and I'm like, how the fuck do you not win that? And then I'll go back and see it from the other guy's point of view and watch him more closely, and it's like, oh, that's what
he definitely,
I missed that. But I've watched both of those fights multiple times from each view. Hunter got him both times. He just got fucking clipped and then snapped his leg. But yeah, I think we need the first, fourth.
That would be nice, fight. Man. Who do you think wins the Figueroa and what's the Mexican dude's name? I forgot his name. Moreno, yeah. I love Moreno, man.
Love him.
Yeah.
You posted him the other day.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite fighting interviews. Post-fight interviews. I love him. He's just a fucking likable guy. Man.
Yeah.
And Figueroa is
the complete, almost like the opposite.
They've had a weird, because at times he's like, he started liking Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, he's how many rounds is that? 5, 10, 15, 15, 20 rounds or whatever it might be.
Oh shit, is this their fourth one?
I think it is the
is,
fourth
huh?
one.
That would be.
Yeah.
Back to back too.
Yeah, back to back to back.
But
man. So I mean, how can you not? It's like Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti.
I love watching their fights. They're some of the most entertaining fucking fights, and I never expect Marino to win any of them, and I'm actually super surprised that he has beat him.
He won one. It's 2-1.
Is it 2-1?
I don't. I think it's 2-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, have they fought 4 times already?
I think it is going to be their fourth fight.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
because I saw this meme where someone's like, they can fight 60 times and I'll still watch it.
You're right, because he won the title and lost it real quick. And I love Moreno, dude. Yeah. He's all about Legos and shit.
Figueroa, or I can't even pronounce his name. Figueroa, I don't know.
I don't even know how to say his first name.
But that dude, he's pretty and he works with what's that wrestler? Triple C. Henry Cejudo.
From here? You know
Henry Cejudo from Springs?
Yeah, he went to Coronado High School.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
No shit.
Fillmore.
I thought he was from Phoenix.
He is. He was here for a certain. He went to Coronado in high school.
Is that like a good school, or is it just a regular school, or
just it's actually supposed to be a little ghetto.
Oh, really?
But he went there.
Was he wrestling there? Or?
Yes, and he became Olympic here.
Oh, good for her. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Another guy I can't stand.
He's a little cringy.
I liked him.
Yeah.
I always liked him until. I mean, he was always cringy.
Yeah.
I liked him until the whole Sean O'Malley thing.
Oh, yeah, he's beefing with him.
Talking, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't fought. Like, you left.
Yeah.
Like, you left and you're fat.
Yeah.
Like, why are you talking? Though, apparently, he's scheduled to fight Aljo for the belt.
Really?
Yeah. So, I think he's coming back to fight if he actually does. For some reason, I don't think he will.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's set in stone, but I think it pretty fucking much is. I don't know if UFC has released that it's.
Yeah, I think you would need a tune-up fight at least, I would think, just to be safe. But
you know what I think?
Wait, has he lost? Has he undefeated, or he lost once, right?
Yeah, he's lost.
Once, or
did he lose
multiple times?
Trying to think of who he's lost to. Did he lose to Demetrius?
Mighty Mouse. Yeah. I think he did lose to. I may be wrong.
Did he fight him?
I think he did. But I don't remember, to be completely honest. I'm not a huge.
What are they? Flyweight, bantamweight?
Yeah, they're like the lower weight classes.
I like a few of them. Catch my eye, like Marino. But mostly it's bantamweight.
Yeah, because they were thinking about like taking out some of their weight classes, right? Or I think they did, or something like that.
I wish. Man, there's so many good fights that would be made in the UFC right now. I'm trying to think of who. What's that?
Who's your all-time favorite MMA fighter?
I got multiple.
All right, list them.
I got Matt Hughes.
Okay.
Phenomenal wrestler. He got hit by a train. He's all fucked up now.
Is he? When did he get hit by a train?
5-6 years ago. Got hit by a train and barely walk, barely talk and shit.
Still?
Yeah.
Shit.
It's fucked up. Mentally fucked up. Fantastic fucking wrestler. I love that guy. GSP, of course.
That's my favorite.
He was not number one. I'm not going like, this is random. Not like going by like a list of my favorite. But the only thing I always hated about GSP was not taking the fights he should have took. Yeah. He was pretty much the only guy in UFC history to say no to certain fights. I mean, you get handed 3 or 4 fights at a time, pick one. And I think you can turn down like 3 before you have to fight whoever the fuck they tell you.
Yeah.
But he turned down every fight that we wanted to see, every fight that we thought, okay, someone might take him. not we being me, because I didn't think anyone could take him, but he denied.
Yeah.
And that really upset me. But he's fucking, I love that dude. I still follow him on his Instagram and shit.
Oh, yeah, Dude, he's always posting motivational shit.
Stopped training.
Yeah, that dude is a beast, yeah.
He's been training as if he's world champion this whole time. That's the thing. Like, I guarantee you he'd come back and easily fuck one of these top guys up.
Yeah.
Easily. I don't think he will, but that'd be dope. So him, GSP, or Matt Hughes, GSP, Hunter from the striking. I'll go by like wrestling, GSP and Matt Hughes, striking, Hunter. I don't think anyone compares to Hunter when it comes to striking. And then just overall badass fucking person. I don't fucking know, man. There's so many. Chuck Liddell, Tito.
Chuck Liddell, man. Chuck Liddell's the beast, the Iceman.
I actually have a relationship with Chuck Liddell.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, on Instagram. I talk to him.
No shit, for real?
All the time.
For real?
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah. You want to know how?
Yeah, I want to know this, yeah.
So him and, obviously I'm a Paul Brother fan.
Yeah.
Him and Drake, he would show up to all of Drake's fights, like early on, before it was like ESPN worthy.
Wait, Jake?
Yeah, Jake.
Showing up to Paul. Jake showing up to Chuck.
Chuck was showing up to Jake's fights.
Oh, okay.
And they were always doing the after party with each other, hanging out. And then one day he went off the handle and was talking all this shit, like, fight me, motherfucker. And I messaged him, and it was like, you were just with this dude.
Yeah.
Like, how much money do you not have that you have to flip the script real quick?
Yeah.
I'm paying close attention. Yeah. I'm the only fucking fan I know of these dudes. I'm watching. And he replied back and was like, no, dude, I don't have an issue with him. I just think I can beat him. And I was like, I don't know. We got into it, and I was asking him about his last injury. He fucked his spine up. He had to get like his spine fused together or some shit in his neck, and he ended up fighting Tito.
Oh yeah, on that weird, like in the boxing.
Yeah, got his ass.
Yeah.
And I just asked him, like, why'd you take that fucking fight, knowing that your shit was fucked up? And I think that impressed him. He was like, oh, because that wasn't like a huge one. Them fighting wasn't even a huge story for some reason, which it should have been. And his injury was like, I found like one fucking little video talking about that injury. Other than that, people don't know about it. So I think he was like impressed with, oh, this dude's an actual fan. Like, he knows his shit. And, well, he told me that. And yeah, I check in with him every once in a while.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool, man.
Yeah. But so it went from me pissing him, trying to piss him off to we're cool now.
That's pretty cool.
Chuck's got to go up there just because of that. Just as
right on
overall person.
Yeah.
Still, I think you got a weak chin still, though, Chuck. Other than that, Dan Henderson.
Dan, yeah, he's pretty.
I remember him in the Michael Bisping feud, and I fucking loved Michael Bisping, and everyone I knew loved Dan Henderson, and then Dan knocked him the fuck out. Yeah. And I mean, Bisping came back later on and won, but that Bisping, that's fucking all of them, dude.
Yeah. They're all, the thing with UFC fighters too, man, is a lot of them have really good character.
Yes.
And they're interesting to watch. Where you look at a lot of boxers.
Yes.
Dude, like it's not like
issue.
Yeah, it's an issue.
I'm not captured with the story of some of these boxers.
It's just very boring. Some of them, like the thing is to
Deontay fought the night we met. Deontay fought.
Yeah.
Had no idea he was fighting.
Yeah.
And I pay attention.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I had no idea who he was fighting.
Yeah, see, that was one of the, but like, see, like Wilder, I mean, Wilder has a good story though. You look at like.
Yes, his story, to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That kind of backtracked what I was saying.
No, but I mean that specific fight.
He's someone I pay attention to, but that specific fight,
we didn't know.
Even know.
Yeah, it's like
I didn't know it till he knocked the dude out.
Yeah,
And I was
we
like,
were. It was the Caleb Plant fight too. See, like another person, Caleb Plant has a good story.
I love Caleb Plant. See, that's a new. I don't know. I didn't hear about Caleb Plant until he fought Canelo.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was big before that.
He wasn't like super big, but that's the thing is like I didn't really know him that much either.
He brought something to these press conferences, and shit. Even if he did get punched in the face, like, I'm officially paying attention to this dude.
Yeah.
And
I mean, at least he made that moment where people started noticing. But you look at like Benavidez. You ask someone about Benavidez, they're not going to know who he is though. He is, he's a great fighter, but people don't know who he is. Or you look at like Ugas. You know, Ugas has a great story, but people don't know who he is. People know who Terrence Crawford, not even. Like some people don't even know who Terrence Crawford is, man. Like, but you look at like Spence, people know who Errol Spence is. You know, a lot of these boxers.
Crawford more than Spence.
I think more people know Spence. Yeah, I think.
What's his nickname?
Bud. Yeah. I may be wrong.
Okay, yeah. You're probably right.
Yeah, because
I know more about Crawford than Spence.
See, before I even came to this gym, I knew more about Spence than Crawford. I didn't know. I knew who Crawford was, but I didn't know too much about him. But all these boxers, man, they're just very boring. They're very vanilla.
Yeah. It's. There's only a few. I mean, think about the ones that are big.
They're big.
What they do.
Yeah.
Differently from what the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, same with the UFC.
Yeah.
There's the UFC fighters who have been fighting for like 12 years that people don't give a fuck
about.
Yeah,
but the thing is with the UFC is you look at their undercards and they have some great fucking undercards. But you look at boxing, not as much. But
also, even non-casual watchers sometimes don't give a fuck about the undercards.
Oh, yeah.
Which pisses me off. Yeah. There's so many good people on the undercards right now.
A lot of great people, but just like you look at like the last fight, man, where you had Patty, you had Darren Till, you had all these fucking great people.
That was a stacked card.
It was.
And people, I guarantee you that was one of the lowest viewed pay-per-views this year. Because people don't... Darren Till, he's kind of been... If you haven't been watching, and I think a lot of new fans came in the last
they don't know who he is,
So, they don't really know him. Which is fucking makes me so sad.
I consider myself a casual man, and I looked at that, I'm like, oh shit, like this is a stacked card, you know what I mean? But I've been following it somewhat for the past, little bit, but like a brand new fan, they might not know who that person is.
I think... Well, he captures someone's eyes because of his accent and the way he talks.
Right.
Same thing with Honor.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Honor. Patty.
Yeah.
Same. They all got the same attitude, and they all got these crazy accents. And it's like, oh, shit. People love shit like that. Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Crazy accent, and he talks crazy. Deontay, I think, can be a little cringy sometimes.
Yeah. But he does talk crazy, though.
Yeah. And when it's super... Like when Radio Raheem interviewed him about something about racism or some shit, and he went off. I don't even remember what he said. But fucking haunted interview.
Oh yeah, till this day. Was that one? Yeah, till this day.
Till this day. Yeah, and there's these moments that these fighters create outside of the ring in the octagon that make people want to watch them fight now. Well,
the thing is with a lot of UFC fighters too, they're pretty active and outside of the ring or outside the cage, where a lot of these boxers, they're not. They keep to themselves. They stay to themselves.
Canelo learning English was the best thing for his fucking
career.
Yeah,
definitely.
100%.
Definitely.
I love listening.
Yeah.
I'm not a Canelo fan.
Yeah.
I'm usually rooting for him most of the time. But when he started learning English...
Yo, this shit is funny.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just saying all this shit.
Yeah.
And it was kind of his broken English.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. 100%.
That's why he's big, man. Yeah, now he's even bigger.
Yeah, way bigger.
Do you think he wins the second Bivol fight?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I think it's too big for him.
I think
he could if he'd be the one to come back and do it.
Yeah.
I think he could. I just don't think he will.
I think he could, just because you look at him like, look at the second Triple G fight.
Okay.
And he definitely improved a lot more compared to the first Triple G fight. Now, I'm a big Triple G fan, so I'm biased. Right. But you can say, okay, he could have won that fight or he could have lost that fight. It could have gone either way. I think he definitely, if he gets better, I think he has a possibility to win. But I think Bivol, wins that second fight. But
I think he does.
I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo wins that fight.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I wouldn't be surprised if he won, but I think he loses that one. Mm-hmm. I think he's just. I thought he was just too small for him. The work rate, is a big thing. But who did he fight at light heavyweight? He fought the one dude who fought Andre Ward. Yeah.
Kovalev.
Yeah.
He has the opportunity to he can fight at that weight class. I'm no professional boxer or anything, but I think like what he did to that one dude where he fucked up his tricep and he fucked up his body. I think if he does the same thing with Bivol, I think he has a better chance.
There's ways to beat him.
Oh yeah,
easily.
Yeah, well he throws a lot of punches too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one, yeah. But like I said, I think if he goes for those because he's got a great jab. If you eliminate that jab by just fucking up his arm. Like not Billy Joe. What was the dude where he fucked up his arm? Rocky Fielding or I forgot who it was. But you looked at the arm, dude, it was just inflated compared to the other arm.
What happened to Billy Joe?
I think he's gonna retire, man.
Is he?
Yeah, because Canelo fucked up his eye. That was the last time he fought.
That was a minute ago.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
I forgot about him.
Yeah,
Billy
Joe's a beast, man.
He was a big talk for a minute.
And he was not whooping his ass, but he was doing pretty good at first too. I like Billy Joe, man. I mean, just because he's with Tyson, but he did talk a little too much shit, and he got fucked up that fight.
I didn't like him.
No,
I didn't watch much of him. But
he's a shit talker, dude.
Yes,
he's a shit he gets under people's skin. Like, do you know
like Tyson? I don't like Tyson either.
You don't like Tyson? No. Do you know Triple G fought this one guy from Canada, and the guy was undefeated, and Billy Joe fought him the same. Do you ever seen that image where he goes like that?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the one where that dude talks so much shit, man.
I think I got a good one for you. How you feel about Garcia and Tank?
You know what, man? I think I'm not a big Ryan Garcia fan. I'm not not a fan of him. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to like Tank because I think Mayweather kind of not drags him down, but I think he can do better without Mayweather. I think
he's not with him right now, is he?
I don't know, man. Who knows?
I saw he put out a statement.
He said that last time too, so it's I take it with a grain of salt. But
anyone in the Mayweather camp,
I don't know what the fuck's going on. Exactly. I think Tank wins that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Garcia wins it. Ryan Garcia's a pretty good fighter. He's very technical. He's very fast. The only thing is we haven't seen him at a very, very high level.
Yes.
We've
seen him at a high level once, and he got rocked. Came back.
I think he's been at a. They weren't even okay. Luke Campbell. He's
still not.
He wasn't even a world champion.
Right.
He did fight Jorge Linares, which was a former world champion, and he got dropped that fight. He ended up winning it, but
So, just so y'all know, the last 20 minutes of our conversation was not recorded. The audio stopped. It wasn't that much, though.
Yeah, it wasn't that much. We were just kind of talking about future plans with what we're going to do together. But, I mean, actually, not much was missed, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
if anything, it's just we are planning something together.
We're planning maybe like a show together. We obviously, we'll have to sit down, kind of talk about it.
We'll figure something out.
And then, like I said, thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, man.
And, that's pretty much it.
Awesome, bro.
Right on.
Appreciate you. We out.